What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Socially Irresponsible Podcast. My name is Damien, a.k.a. Maverick.
I'm a phenomenon!
The Devil's Advocate. Next to me, we have our co-host, Mr. Adrian Rivers. Not Rivera, Mr. Rivers. How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on?
How's your week? What's going on, man? Welcome back, first and foremost. Fuck your week. Welcome back.
Thank you. No, my week's been interesting, actually. The Karen's situation affected me personally. Then I've been arguing about Karen's online, so it's been a real interesting week.
Chipotle Karen.
That's one of the ones I've been arguing about.
Which other ones are they?
Well, we can get into it. I personally got a dude fired at a corner store because he did not know that I'm not the dude to play with, and he said some real slick shit. It was kind of interesting.
Speak on. Let's hear about that right now.
You want to start it off like that?
Start off with that story. What happened?
I didn't even get to pull out my phone and try to go viral and go Karen hunting. I just came across one. No, I was buying some drinks, and I get up to the counter, put shit on there, and he's like, "Hey, starts ringing it up. Since we're ending racism, can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Dude, you don't even fucking know, do you? Go ahead, dude. Here we go." So since we're ending racism, can I still go into a Starbucks, and if I order my coffee black, is that racist? If I had thought quicker to have been more petty, I obviously would have pulled out the phone and go ahead, let's ask social media if they think, because apparently you thought I'm the dude to play with, but here we go. Yeah. So I said, no, it's I don't think that's racist. I think you asking me this stupid ass question is racist. He was like, well, no, I mean, and he started rambling some shit about Miss Buttersworth and Aunt Jemima, and I said, well, you might think racism's funny, but I personally don't. Yeah. So shut the fuck up, put my stuff in the bag before this goes a whole different direction. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I just, I think it's kind of messed up that, people are tearing down buildings or monuments and statues like Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln wasn't racist. Yes, I said, yes, he absolutely was. Fuck. He did not free slaves out of some sort of fucking humanitarian moral judgment. He did it because it was a political motivation, but I don't have time to break that down to your dumbass. So I hope you had fun on your last day at your job. See you soon. I walked out, called up the corporate. Yeah, within hours, they pulled the tape. They had audio on the tape too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dumbass. I was like,
he's out of there.
It's like, you really picked the wrong person to get cute with. Like, it was funny. That? Yeah, I don't know. Of all the people to walk through his store, and I'm sure he might have been saying stupid shit to people, but I was like, yeah, I'm the wrong one to play with.
That's funny, man. I guess racism isn't ending as he thought it was, right?
Of course, it was never ending. I'm like, wow, you really went there with me, like I was the dude.
It's kind of. I can't even say it's funny. Like what is wrong, guys? Like, what are y'all really doing right now? Like, and we're gonna get into the whole the climate of what's going on right now, and I compare it to the Me Too movement, how it was good until it wasn't good anymore. You know what I mean? I think when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, we're heading to a Me Too movement direction, to where the credibility is going to get shot pretty quick, and we'll go into that later in the show. Okay. Also, we have Bree, Mrs. I want to get that shit still perfect.
I, the great and powerful.
Hold on, I got to do that again. Can I do that again, Bree?
Let's do it.
Okay, hold on. And now we also have the what's can I call you something cool like Bree? Is that cool? Like Bree, Brianna, Bree?
No, it's Bree.
Bree, is that cool?
Yeah.
Like Bree, that just you don't want like
There's Bree, there's Bree, there's Breezy.
Breezy.
I would say Breezy. I like that.
Yeah, Breezy. We got also in the back room, young Breezy, Mrs.
I, the great and powerful.
How are you, dear?
I'm great.
Just great. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, it was, a great week.
You have anybody passive aggressively call you a nigger today?
No.
This week?
No, not me.
No.
But I saw some videos that made my blood boil a little bit.
Oh man, you had one earlier that Adrian was about to. Fuck, we should have played that on here. So hopefully, sometime throughout the show, maybe at the end, we'll have Bree post that video in the comments and y'all can see the ignorance. I don't know. Are we still surprised that ignorance exists at the level that it does in this country or anywhere in this world?
I'm not. And I think that video is kind of an example of like, see, that's one thing I think that's bothering me about everything that's going on right now is that, again, this is one of those examples of Karen hunting.
yeah.
Because I felt like, I'm like, look, we already know racism exists, but I'm like, with the police, there's a specific reason that that's an attack because that's one of the institutions, right? With people saying shit at their job. Again, there's a specific reason for that. Or if you're somewhere online and somebody's mouthing off, people try to get them fired, they find out where they work. But I'm like, that situation, I'm like, this is like that other Chipotle situation. You're out doing street shit and it goes a different direction. So yeah, racism may be involved, but I'm like, that's one of them personal things. It really, y'all start trying to murky the waters and y'all want to take this proving racism exists to this level. I'm like, you don't need to prove this shit exists.
You don't.
For
you
what?
Really don't.
You know it's there.
Yeah.
So I question the motivation behind.
Well, hold on. We'll talk about it. And the video that we're talking about was there's this guy, I guess he was driving and some guy cut him off. So he kind of followed the guy and cut him off and then kind of parked. And the guy that cut him off was a white guy. The black guy went back and cut the white guy off and then kind of pulled off to the side and was like, come on, what's up? The white guy got out of the car and was in there talking shit to him, calling him all kinds of niggers and just whatever he was calling them, like for what, probably 5-6 minutes.
Good 4 or 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah. And just talking shit to him. He just recorded the whole time and was like, he should have got out of the car and beat his ass. I was really disappointed in the dude for how he handled it.
Yeah.
And when the white guy was talking about how the black dude was a bitch, I think the white dude was completely right. But he
acted like a bitch.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I'm saying. You go ahead and play these games, and then if you don't go there, what was the purpose?
What was the purpose?
Yeah, if you're ready for street shit, you got to get down with street shit. That's just what's going to happen. And there was a racist element to it, but it's no different than any other situation that you're going to have to either fight about or whatever. Like, stop trying to prove that somebody's right. Who gives a fuck in that situation?
It's all for clout. It's
right.
Like people are out there posting shit. People are out there antagonizing situations to show that, oh, this exists. I was a victim. Like, fuck being a victim. Like, at this point, we need to either educate the situation or solve the situation.
Right.
It's no point of proving that that racism still exists. We know it exists.
Yeah, that's like when I tell people, I'm like, why are we still posting the explanations to All Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter? Like, that shit's been like 5 or 6 years. Like,
or why are we still talking about why Colin kneeled? Like, is that really a conversation?
Exactly.
Do you not understand that?
Yeah, I don't need 1,000 examples of this shit. You know what it is.
Let's fix this shit. Simple as that.
Move on. That's one thing. When Jay-Z said that, people were mad at him because he said, I think we all know why Colin was kneeling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I agree. We know why.
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next, though?
What do we do?
Yeah, what's next?
Stop proving 100 different points. We already seen that. I've seen in Exhibit B, Exhibit C. Y'all are on the alphabet 20 times over at this point.
Fucking idiots, man. But I mean, we'll figure it out. And like I said, we're gonna dive into that a lot in this show, because I'm kind of disappointed in what I see in a lot of people. And the narrative should never be what, as people say, the media makes it. At this point, if we don't have our own narrative, goals, agenda, again, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? But again, let's get into some fun shit, okay? Why am I always forgetting this?
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
All right, so you are in a Miami Beach party. All right, Adrian? You're out there kicking and hanging out. You run into Mrs. Jada Pinkett Smith, all right? You hang out with her, have a couple of drinks. She takes you back to the room and fucks the shit out of you, right? Everything's going well. Y'all have a relationship. Let's say 4 or 5 years later, you're at that crossroad in life to where it's like, Will, her husband, talks to you, asks you questions. The media comes, talks to you, asks you questions. What are you going to say?
I mean, nothing. If I know what it is, then nothing. You don't do that. That's sucker shit, man. Like, if you knew she was married, and if she and Will broke that shit down to you, like, we're cool with this, just shut the fuck up about it.
Don't make it look bad.
Yeah, then it's, the same way Ray J was running around acting a fool about Kim. Like, look, everybody saw the video, dude. Why do you just shut the fuck up? Like, that's why women talk about men like that, because
Niggas be bitches these days.
Yeah, like that's exactly why women get mad and don't send nudes no more, because you fake punk motherfuckers start sending the nudes everywhere and you make the woman look bad. Like, look, if she give you some pussy, be a man, handle it, and just move on. Shut the fuck up.
He's fucking up the goddamn news for all the men out there, goddamn it. Shut the fuck up and just like you just
say thank you and move on.
It's crazy. Like, how do you fuck up a simple situation? Like, your only job was to give her the dick. That was your only job. Give her the dick and shut the fuck up.
This gets into that conversation about men having emotions. You know, we're not going to be toxic, right? We're real people. We got emotions too, and that's fine. And look, he got caught up and he caught feelings, and that's fine. But if she pulled you aside and was like, hey, you got to chill because you know this is my situation.
Yeah.
Let's ease back with the feelings. Then he needs to separate himself and do what he's got to do. But don't, that's kind of rule number one, though. If you are going to fuck with somebody married, don't put your heart in it.
Don't put your heart in it. Just put that dick in it and call it a day. How old is he?
Now he's like 27, right?
So he's a young
He was born in 92.
Nigga, math carried the 2.
28. Or he's either 28 or be 28.
Okay. He carried the math. He carried the 2 for me. But yeah, man, that's crazy, man. Like when I heard about that, now Brandon's been watching the documentary, blah blah blah.
State of Emergency.
Yeah, and it's on with Netflix, Hulu, one of the two. How is it? I know you said you're kind of 5 episodes in.
Yeah, I'm like 5 episodes in, I think.
What is it about? Has anybody watched that documentary, State of Emergency? I say what's that?
August Alsina.
August Alsina. Yeah. Y'all women leave them pretty niggas alone. Y'all come fuck with a nigga like me. I ain't gonna tell no goddamn body. I know Adrian ain't telling no goddamn body. He ain't got no minutes on his phone anyway. So how's the documentary? Is it any good, or what is that thing about?
Just going into his life about how he grew up in New Orleans and
New Orleans niggas out here snitching?
He came to Houston and went to school in Houston for a little bit because of family issues, and life basically is just what it's about. His life.
I blame Drake for this shit.
Oh, come on. Don't do that.
Drake made these motherfuckers.
Oh, don't do that.
Light-skinned motherfuckers.
Drake is the president of our chapter.
And he made it cool for y'all to be sitting in Marvin's room crying and dialing your ex all drunk and shit.
That was a jam. That shit got me through a bad situation back in the day too, though. You can't knock on that goddamn you can't knock that goddamn Marvin's room.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
All right, so you're at work, Bree. You're a pilot. You work with pilots, so you're at work. You're, I don't know, talking to someone, hanging out. You had just came from lunch. Had a very big lunch. A guy took you out. Your boss took you out. Whatever y'all ate. Your stomach starts rumbling. Do a little poop. Shit all on yourself. What do you do? Where do you go? How do you handle that? How do you handle that? I shitted on myself before once growing up. I was like 34. And so I can't have to handle that shit.
You said growing up. I thought you were going to say 7 years old or some shit.
That was just a couple years ago.
How do you handle that, Brandon? I need advice.
Ooh.
What do you do? All right. What do you do? You excuse yourself?
I mean, what else can I do? Excuse myself?
You take half a day?
Luckily, I can leave when I want to, so...
Go to Target?
I'm going to go home.
Target? Because then you got to walk around in there to buy some shit?
No.
Just go home.
I'm just going to go home.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, that shit happened to me.
Clothes go in the trash.
I washed mine. I still got them shorts. I just washed them. I don't know. Is that bad? That's what you got a washer and dryer for. My daughter shit on her clothes when she was growing up, and I just washed that shit. I didn't throw it away.
But grown people's shit is different than baby shit.
How is it different?
Something
shit is shit. No.
I guess it depends on how nice the outfit is. Maybe.
It was like some basketball. It was like some
basketball shorts. Them shit's gone.
Y'all niggas bullshit. Y'all niggas got y'all's income tax. You know what? I haven't done my income tax yet. I think that's on the 15th of this month.
I haven't either.
You haven't either?
No.
Hey, y'all get y'all's damn income tax done. If y'all have not done y'all's income tax, please go get that shit done.
It's called a tax return.
Tax return.
Do your taxes.
Do your tax return. And don't shut on yourself, man. It's embarrassing. My week was crazy. So, thanks for asking. What did I do? I worked. So I had my first real construction deal to where like I'm part of a team doing a flip and we're fixing the house. I had to hire these guys to help out with a job, and it was funny because they called me. Hey, I'm running a little late, Damien. Give us about 20 minutes. We're stuck in traffic. There's a turnover or something on 1604 and I-10. And I was like, man, you're good, bro. Like, just come when you can. I'll be there. Truth be told, I was just leaving my house at the time he called me. But it was so funny because those are the calls that I always make to my employer when I was working. I'm always fucking late to everything. You come to the show and it starts an hour after I say it's going to start. So I'm always late. I'm the worst person when it comes to time. And it was just cool because it's like, I'm getting that call from somebody. And I always said, like, man, if I'm ever in a situation, I'm just be cool, man. Like, hey, man, just get here when you can. I understand shit happens, man. Just come on, man. Yeah. And it was just kind of cool how it happened. Because it's like, damn, I'm the motherfucker over there lying to my boss all the time and complaining about that shit.
And now these motherfuckers are lying.
And now these motherfuckers are lying to me. And I'm over there laughing. But no, so, I mean, it was kind of cool. And it's like, boss shit. Like, I actually had, and someone, I actually had a job to where I had to hire somebody and actually pay them. And it was kind of cool. Like, it's something that I've always aspired to. Instead of working for somebody else, I would like to work for myself. I've done it in contracting situations, but now I'm the guy working. So hopefully this goes good and I do more of it. I'm actually proud of it, so I'm going to give myself a fucking round of applause. And there's a coin shortage out. Did y'all hear about that coin shortage? Like, there's a coin shortage to where stores aren't wanting to give out change. It's the stupidest shit I heard. To where they don't have nickels and dimes to give people back. And they're saying because of COVID, there's a coin shortage. I was like, you sure debit cards don't have nothing to do with that? And
could be.
I mean, that's crazy, right? Like a fucking coin shortage. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I went to Home Depot and I
just heard it was because supposedly that the virus can live on certain surfaces longer, so maybe that's why they were trying to avoid dealing with metals and whatnot. I think. I may or may not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up. But
I don't know. That makes more sense than saying it's just because of COVID. I would figure that coins would be on shorthand because people, they don't exchange change no more. People are getting debit card swiping, and then when you go to the store and you spend $5, they're giving you their change, but they're not receiving change in return. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Eventually, coins are going to be just gone
because everybody's just got their little thing that they come and drop their change in, and eventually go drop it at the bank. Because I still have one of those little things. And
I mean,
a few months.
Yeah, when I buy shit at the store, I just give them $5-10 or however much it is, and I just get my change in return. I don't ever give them $5.23. I just take my fucking change.
Yeah, but what do you do with your change? At some point,
I mean, not at the store. They use it for like soda machines, or I just literally let that shit stack in my car and put it in my kid's piggy bank.
See, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I was just saying. At some point, the coins that you keep receiving
are here. They're not
They're somewhere. Right. Well, they're somewhere, and then we take them to the bank, and the bank is supposed to be giving them back.
Something like that. Yeah, but that was like coin shortage. Like all the shit that's going on, we're worrying about motherfucking nickels and dimes.
So speaking of coins, we have a comment from Sydney Patterson.
Sydney, what's going on?
He says, how much are y'all paying Adrian to be on the show? My response to this is, don't worry, Sydney. We're accepting talent applications, and we can get you on the show ASAP.
Hey, Sydney, come on.
I'd be interested to have Sydney on here.
Nah, Sydney will sit there and talk all kinds of shit. Tell Sydney to bring his ass on down. Hit me up in the DM. I give you the address and you come kick it. I actually wanted to have. I know Sydney. Sean Bevenue is someone that I kind of fucked with doing flag football and shit for a while, and he's a big Herbalife guy. And for some reason, I think Sean would be a good person to have on the show. Do you know Sean Bevenue?
Yeah, I think I actually we've talked a couple times about Herbalife once or twice.
Yeah.
A while back though, this was some years ago.
I think he'd be dope.
And I run into him at the poker places all the time.
Oh, Sean be playing? You know Trevor McKenzie, little short black bald head nigga? I guess
I saw a picture of him. I might.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I think it'd be fun because I always make fun of Sean because Sean is the lightest dark-skinned nigga I ever fucking had in my life. That nigga think he's so tough, so cool. He cool nigga though, but it's just funny. Like he was, and the reason why I thought about him one day is because this whole being black now is becoming a trend again. So people are being the blackest person they've ever have been in their life right now, like they've never been this black ever before.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It sucks. It's horrible, right? So you've noticed that too, right?
Well, it doesn't suck. I'll tell you, there's a mild personal irritation because the funny thing, you know how on this day the Facebook will show you some shit.
Yeah.
So I posted a speech by Frederick Douglass about the 4th of July probably 8 years ago. And I remember so many people were mad at me and like, why are you always ruining shit and blah blah blah. And I kid you not, like every third post yesterday was that speech.
The same speech, right?
And I'm just like, okay, cool.
And y'all motherfuckers were woke.
And I didn't say shit, like, because for me, look, as long as you get there, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna be a little bit slower at it. But what irritates me is, one, if it becomes trendy and people don't stick with it. Because to me, my blackness is who I am.
Yeah.
So when it's trendy, that irritates me. You got here late, cool, welcome to the party. But don't just make it,
cool for now, and then it's like
Right.
you're back to the same bullshit
and
2 weeks later.
Right. Then next year I see you in your fucking Apollo Creed red, white, and blue outfit dancing to Born in America, whatever that stupid shit was.
No, it's funny. Well, Sean is not that. Sean has been he's been as black could be since I've met him, and that's what I when I see people like that, I thank him for some reason. I have no idea why he comes to my mind. But he's one of those high yellow, light skinned niggas and shit like that. And he I don't think he grew up in any real hood like that. He knows who he is and where he's from and shit. I think that's dope. So shout out to Sean Bevinu out there. I never fucking talked to you or really hit you up like that. But I actually hit his ass up to try to get into Lifetime Fitness, and the motherfucker never hit me back. So but no, I think that's cool. So, I mean, y'all out there that are, I guess, as Adrian says, that are on the black train, man, welcome. It's a good fucking ride, man. As long as you're here, I don't care how you get here, like he said, welcome aboard and let's get this shit done. But do it for the right reasons, man. This shit is not a trend. This is real life. Shit's really going down. Speaking of the train, we got this man, Kanyeezy. What? So I had the whole show basically put together last night, right? And then this shit came out. Kanye's running for president, and this was up hours ago. What time does that say? I can't see what time.
Wasn't it yesterday?
Yeah.
Was it today or
at 12:38 a.m. He said he's gonna run for president. He's gonna put his name in the docket. How do you feel about that, Age? I want your take on this. I want your goddamn take.
I mean, the real take, okay. So I wonder if he's running as I imagine a Republican.
He can't run as a Republican, can he? With Trump already.
You can. It's very unusual.
Okay.
To run against an incumbent in the same party.
Okay.
But it can be done. I don't know if it can now because usually you would have to do this in the period of time that's like the primaries, the runoff, to decide who is the Republican nominee. Because their money can only go to one candidate, right? So they can't sit there and split that up because it's going to fuck up your campaign for one, and you're fighting against yourself. So I don't think they would have... It's right, and that's why I said that usually that happens, before the primaries, and the primaries decide, okay, who's our Republican candidate.
Okay.
So I would imagine he would have to run just as an independent, as a write-in. I don't think anybody's going to accept him as a Democrat because he's made his, alliance with Trump pretty well known. He has taken a liking to people like Candace Owens. So he's established himself as a conservative.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't see how he could run as a Democrat. So the real answer, I don't really give a shit. I think it's funny. What I especially think is funny is that people are really upset. Like, oh, he's going to pull off votes from Biden.
Do you take it serious?
Of course not.
Okay.
But if I did, I'm not against it. Just because if it does pull from Biden, I don't care. Because
you don't fuck with Biden anyway.
I don't fuck with Biden either. And what's funny to me is all the people who are so upset about him potentially pulling the vote and doing this. I'm like, look, what I'd look at is the long game, if you're going to look at the long game.
Okay.
So if he pulls votes, right, and he makes even a small impact, let's say he gets 3% of the vote or 4% of the vote.
Okay.
This shows that there is the potential to have another party.
Yeah.
People are like, but we need to get Trump out now. And I'm like, wait.
That is true. And I know you said that several times, or people have said that, you're like, fuck both of them. Mm-hmm. But I know you're not a fan of the lesser of two evil argument. And I know you've been saying that shit since Hillary. Mm-hmm. But that is the argument.
Right. And that's fine. But here's the thing, is that when you come to that type of argument, it's funny to me because these are the same motherfuckers that will tell you, oh, well, progress takes time. I'm like, okay, right. So we can wait 60, 70 fucking years for progress when it comes to voting. But when I tell you, no, shit needs to change now because of this, that, or the other, as far as, the racist shit we're going through, then it's like, no, things take time. I'm like, well, then let it take time when you prove a point by not voting or by voting for Kanye West and pulling the vote. Then let progress take time because you see that the voting demographics change.
I like it. I like Kanye. And I don't think Kanye is the Republican that everybody thinks he is. From the little research I've done with all these many arguments, I would read his comment. I don't know if y'all are. Can you see it on the phone, Bree? The Kanye tweet. Mm-hmm. Can you read it to us? I can't read that shit. It's far in my eyes. It's not what they used to be.
We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision and building our future. I am running for president of the United States. 2020 vision.
American flag emoji. So he's serious about it. So this is what I think about it. And I want y'all to hear me out. I want y'all to listen to my take on this whole Kanye thing. And it's gonna fuck your mind up. It's gonna blow it, right? So Kanye is fucking Kanye West, right? He's always aligned himself with Trump for specific purposes and reasons to accomplish whatever he wanted to accomplish. He never really been all in. And correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all know something more than I do, chime in on the chat and Brandon will talk to you, or you just fucking check my ass when I'm talking, okay? So he always aligned himself with Kanye West. He never aligned himself with Republicans. I looked up some shit, and he's never donated to the Republican Party. He still, I think, to this day, donates to Democratic causes, right? That's Kanye, right? Now, he was saying how he, has gotten rid of his MAGA hats, and he's gotten rid of all that shit. He did it for whatever purpose to get what he needed to get out of whatever situation that whatever. It's a long story. I'm not going to go into it because I fuck it up because I don't remember it. But the cool thing about it is that when he runs for president, now this is what I want y'all to follow me. When he runs for president, Trump's party is down. Trump's support is down 12% as of right now. It's in the 40%, 41, 42%. So he's lost a lot of his following in his camp, right? The 40%, they're the guys that are fucking diehard Republicans. They're not voting for Trump, they're voting for the Republican Party. That makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So if voting for the Republican Party, they're not gonna vote Democrat. I don't give a fuck if Hitler was in office. They're still gonna vote Republican because Republican aligns with what their life, business, and their strategy of goal of whatever is gonna do. Kanye running, if he does get a Republican nod, it's only going to divide Trump's votes.
If he can run as Republican.
If he can run as Republican, or even it has to be a Republican type deal. It's going to fucking divide Trump's ticket, his votes, right? The Democrats are going to vote Democrat or not going to vote Democrat again. I mean, they're not going to vote Republican. They're going to be diehard Democrats. They're voting Democrat, right? Then you have your Republicans that are pissed off at Trump that are in the middle, right? Right? They're going to vote. They're going to be ones that are going to vote for Kanye, which is good because they're not voting for Trump, right? And that's kind of what it is.
Here's the thing. They have normally there is that swing vote, right? Those people who are on the fence. But those people who are on the fence, those are the people who typically really analyze political stances and ideologies. And I don't think Kanye has one, to be honest. He might surprise me.
No, Kanye is going to surprise the shit out of a lot of people. Now, I'm a big believer in Kanye. I probably have some jizz on my chin right now, but I fuck with Kanye. Like I listen to a lot of shit that he says, and even though he may not have a great delivery on what he's trying to say, if you really take his message in, it makes fucking sense. And I'll go from the slavery comment. I know a lot of people hated him for that, but what he said, it made a lot of fucking sense. He didn't say that it's our fault for being slaves. He said it's our fault for being slaves for 400 years, meaning we could have fought back and we could have been slaves for 300 years, maybe 200 years. Again, there's a lot of mind fucking in it.
And this is why I had an issue with that. If I put a gun to your head and say do this or else, do you really feel like you have a choice? Technically you have a choice.
You're the type of nigga that's gonna do the or else though.
But
there's no but to. You're the type of nigga that's gonna do.
It depends on it depends on the situation and the severity of it. I might be.
If it's very severe, you're gonna be the guy that's gonna do the or else.
I might end up with a bullet in my head too. But that's the point. Is that it's not. They
only got so many. But if we all would have came together and did the or else, this shit could have ended a long time ago.
That's not true though, because Nat Turner, there were slave revolts. But the thing is, you can't organize that many people against that type of system with limited communication at the time. No, you don't have the weapons to do it.
True.
Like you have so many things going against
intelligence organization.
There's just so many things against you. So, that's why I say I feel like saying it's a choice it's an oversimplification of something that's really, really more complicated.
No, it was very complicated. And everything you're saying is right because, we want to get free. We don't want to fucking see our husbands raped and our wives shipped off and our kids killed. And if we had a plan to get it done, we would have done it a long time ago. So there's more to every story, to every situation. But what he's saying on the pure basis of words and what he's saying.
And that's why I said technically, of course,
makes
it's true.
Fucking sense. Because even though it took 4 years, because we had a fucking enough. And we had a lot of other people to support us having enough. And I hate saying that. Everything that we have in this life is because white men gave it to us in a sense. And it sucks. But that's kind of how it was. The voting, we're free now because white men said we're free because Abraham Lincoln signed the goddamn Emancipation Proclamation.
See, but then that's a conversation because I'm like, again, why did he really do that?
Well, we know he was right. And like there's even speech and documents that showed the racist shit he said, and we all know what it is. But he did it, and it was a good thing that he did it. Unfortunately, it got down to us kind of late. But, it started a good thing, okay? But back to the Kanye, I think it's going to be good because he's going to fuck up Trump's votes, period, bottom line. I don't think he's going to get any Democrat votes because we don't trust in him at all. Even if his motives are pure, he kind of went off on the deep end and kind of lost us a long time ago.
The people who would fuck with him kind of like looking at him like,
Yeah, like, I don't know. So maybe, 2024... He'll get some votes they never had before, but as of right now, he's kind of like, But he's gonna fuck up Trump's votes more than anything, and I hope that's kind of the logic he's having, hoping to go in there and just mind fuck the system and take the votes from Trump. So I hope he has some like fucking Inspector Gadget crazy plan to get this done. I'm riding with you, goddamn Kanye. I'm riding with you, Yeezy. I'm riding with you.
Well, we got some Trump supporters in the comments.
Call him out.
It's just one.
Who we got?
For now.
Who we got?
Christopher Arthur.
Okay. What's he talking about?
He just said Trump 2020 MAGA.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Get your MAGA shit, man. There's nothing wrong with it, man. Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. Next.
Can I respond quickly? Fuck you. No, go ahead.
Which one are you? Which one do you think Kanye is going to be? Which one? Top or bottom? I'm thinking Kanye is going to be. I'm hoping he's the top.
I don't think he's top. I think he's definitely going to be the bottom Kanye.
You think so?
Yeah, if he gets, especially if he gets on as the Republican ticket, that's gonna have to be the only way he can even sell it to the Republicans.
I think he's gonna come on as a Republican, so to speak, or with that little same shit he's always been on. But I think he's doing it for the top reason. I don't think he's doing it with the bottom underlying issues. That's just me, and that's just me having faith in Kanye West. It has nothing to do more than that. I just have faith in the guy because I fucking love the guy and I love him as a person. I love a lot of his ideologies. I don't know him as a man, so I can't simply talk. What
ideology have you ever heard from Kanye, though? Like, give me an example.
He says, you don't put him on the spot like that. Let me think. No, I mean, he says a lot of shit that makes sense. Even when he was talking about, the music industry and the clothing industry and how they, are trying to.
So here's the thing about that, because I remember that when that whole thing happened, and you know what? I didn't hear some enlightened individual trying to change our situation. I heard a motherfucker that wants to be a slave master. He wants a seat at master's table. He is tired of being a slave. He's like, can't I be a slave owner with y'all? That's what I heard. A motherfucker whining about not being able to be an oppressor.
No, and he wanted to get at the table, and from his conversations, like the one when he had with Charlemagne, to kind of change shit. But he doesn't. He was fighting a battle he cannot win by himself. He understood that. He changed a bunch of shit. I think he kind of. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the election. What is it? No, not November 5th. When is it?
Sometime in November.
Beginning of November. So we'll see what happens then. I was reading something along that says he's too late to register for the Texas and the New York primaries, which is kind of a big deal because that's where you're going to get a lot of your steam and investors and then just your votes and your word out. But the good thing about it is Kanye doesn't really need to have dinners and raffles at fucking $100 a plate, $1,000 a plate because he's going to get his investors. Elon Musk supports him, and that's the richest man alive right now. So
I thought we're still on Bezos was still the richest.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bezos.
Although he did have to split half of that with his wife, so.
He
ended up approaching trillionaire status even after that.
But not only is Elon rich, he's also has a lot of following. He's also smart and intelligent, and his backing is a motherfucker. Just like Bezos. So I mean he'll be fine. But and something else that happened yesterday. We were supposed to have our show, and it was just a holiday that a lot of people did not fuck with. I'm indifferent about that. I'm very indifferent about canceling the 4th of July. How do you feel, Brianna? Let's hear your take. How do you feel about canceling the 4th of July? Cause we celebrated, fam. We barbecue and shit.
Right. We celebrate it because we've got birthdays in our family for the 4th of July.
Happy birthday, mother of mine, and actually mother of Brianna's. Our mother's birthday. My mom is 25. Her mom is 22. Your mom's younger, right? Yeah. So they're 3 years apart. Go ahead. Shameless plug. Happy birthday to you.
I don't know. It's just something for our family that we will celebrate indifferent because we celebrate family, not necessarily.
I like the part that everyone is actually thinking about shit now. Like that's the dope part about just seeing people talking about. And I've seen a lot more white people than anybody talking about canceling 4th of July. Niggas is trying to barbecue. But it's cool that the thought process has happened. I don't think we should cancel the 4th of July because it still means something. It's like, we don't cancel Hanukkah because we don't celebrate it. It's fucking still a holiday. You don't have to celebrate it. But and this is me playing
I'm a fan of man.
The devil's advocate on this one. It means something to somebody.
But is Hanukkah rooted in white supremacy?
I don't know shit about Hanukkah.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah.
It's a religious thing, so pretty sure it's not.
Pretty sure it's not. But is the independence of America rooted by white supremacy?
How could it not be?
How could it be though? Now,
because the premise is that they declared their independence from the British.
Okay.
So they were basically like, "Fuck you! We want to take our slaves and our profits,
take all the money
own
and
them.
keep it.
This is us now."
Yeah.
So it's not about freedom or independence. It's about them solidifying their place in a new capitalist era.
Yes, and I actually had an argument with Tony about this, and he was saying that how the American Revolution had nothing to do with slavery. And I was like, it had everything. It was all about money. It was a money play. It was about the taxation without representation. Basically, we're not going to pay taxes to you guys when we don't have any votes or any say in the government, and we're making all this fucking money. Why are we giving it to y'all? We don't need you. We got these guys over here, and we can create our own thing. So let's fight for this for our fucking freedom. So it had everything to do with slavery. But the independence of America, everything has an underlying issue with slavery. So we can wipe that off the table. But as
that's
far
what
as
I'm saying, though, is that everything in America, if we're going to be honest and have the conversation, it's time to admit America was built on white supremacy, and it thrives on trying to maintain a system of white supremacy and racism. That's how it functions, and that's just a reality. So we can try to avoid that. We can try to change it.
But how do you change the celebration? The independence of America was needed. It was needed to get where we're at today, even though it took us a lot longer to get where we needed to get to, and we're still not there yet. Mind you, we're still not fucking there yet. But even though it took us a minute to get there, the independence of America was needed.
So when was the Constitution itself signed?
What is that, 1776?
But I'm saying it's a different day, right? July 4th was the Declaration of Independence. When was the Constitution
Oh, the
signed?
Constitution, don't know.
Right. Why isn't the establishment of how we're going to run this new country something that's celebrated?
Now,
this is my point, is that there are all types of documents, treaties, official statement, all types of shit throughout history, but we don't celebrate them.
Okay.
So why the 4th of July?
Because it was just our breakaway from our masters.
But what does that actually celebrate? Is that the establishment of new masters? So that's what I'm saying, is that we pick and choose what we want to celebrate and why. And so I'm saying it's time and it's okay to let go of these things.
But it's still an important date.
Wouldn't you agree that the signing of the Constitution is an important date? But you don't know.
Agree. No, I agree. I agree that it is important, and it should be. I agree that it's important, but I don't think it's as important as the independence. Now, shit should have went different after the independence. The independence that we broke away from Great Britain, so to speak. Shit should have happened differently once we got our independence. We all know that. There are slaves that are promised freedom for fighting and breaking us from the Britain rule, and we were like, "Yay, we're free! Nigga, go back to work."
So here's my point. You know how Juneteenth was now nationally recognized or whatever, right?
Which is dope.
Right. But why wasn't the original Emancipation Proclamation, why doesn't that have its own significant date or holiday?
Why does it not?
Right. This is what I'm saying, is that we pick and choose what we want to celebrate. Not that any of these things are more important than the other, but we pick and choose what we're going to designate as some sort of fucking holiday.
No, I get it. But I get it. Emancipation Proclamation, should we celebrate that? I mean, of course should we celebrate?
Isn't it equally or more important than Juneteenth? Juneteenth is just when motherfuckers got the news late.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for the Emancipation Proclamation, then Juneteenth would have never been a thing.
But that's my point. That's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Did I just help his argument?
You did.
Help his argument? Fuck!
Did I Daffy Duck you? Did I duck season, rabbit season you? Is that what just happened?
Rabbit season.
Yes.
Duck season. Rabbit season. Rabbit season. It's duck season. Oh, fuck. God damn it, Adrian. Well, yes.
So I think we can just agree. It's okay to cancel shit.
But it
can still be an important date. We can still recognize it for what it is. It's part of history. But why does it have to be celebrated and acted like it was this good thing for everybody when it wasn't?
I don't think we should celebrate it. I don't think it benefits us.
But then what does that say if we're still supposed to be considered Americans and it's the American holiday and certain motherfuckers are celebrating it and we aren't? That's what I'm saying. It's okay to just let go of shit.
Huh. Okay. All right. That makes sense. That actually makes sense. No, that's okay.
I tend to do that once in a while.
One for Adrian. But it was just one of those things, and I felt like, just like I said before, man, should we cancel it or should we not cancel it? Let us know if y'all canceled 4th of July. I didn't have my kids, so it was canceled. And because of COVID, it was canceled for our family as well. It was fucking Baghdad last night outside of my house. So other people, of course, did not cancel. But on top of that, I've never celebrated the 4th of July for what the 4th of July was. I never celebrated its independence. We celebrated our parents' fucking birthday, and we celebrated hanging out with the family. Like Thanksgiving, that's my favorite holiday. I don't celebrate it because of what the point of Thanksgiving was. We're going to feed the Indians, and we're going to help them out, and we're going to put our stuff together. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving for that. I celebrate it because there's a lot of good football on that day. Our family gets together. We have a 5-day weekend, and we just hang out and eat good food.
So let me ask a question. Let me pose it different. If there was a National Luciferian Day, they gave you the day off, would you celebrate it?
I'm off though, right?
Yeah, you're off. Would you celebrate it?
So can I still be off and not celebrate it?
Yeah, you're still off. Shit's closed. Like, shit's off.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, I get it. No, I wouldn't. But I wouldn't celebrate.
And that's what I'm saying. I get that people have the day off. I get that it's an opportunity to travel and see family that you might not have seen otherwise because you had to work. I understand all of those things.
Okay.
But when you partake in the so-called traditions, there's something that's off about it to me. To sit there and, have turkey and, do all this shit that you thought the Pilgrims did when they were, about to slaughter Indians. Like, it's fucked up to me to honor and celebrate that.
And you're 100% right. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving for that. We celebrate it more as a family gathering. And it has nothing to do with what it's really supposed to be. And my kids even came home one day, and it was the proudest moment of my life when it comes to their education. And my daughter was like, they didn't feed the Pilgrims? Like, that's not what Thanksgiving was it? She's like, I thought they killed the Pilgrims. Yeah, I did that. Go ahead.
So we have some comments, and I'm sorry if I say your name wrong. I don't know if it's Andrea or Andrea Simmons, but she says that she's been canceled all American holidays.
All of them?
All of them. And she also says it's easy to say it's a family day, but you go out and buy food to help the economy.
Well, I gotta eat though, right? No?
In abundance? We tend to buy way more food on Thanksgiving than we do other days. We have leftovers for damn near a week sometimes
not
because
us.
there's that much.
We have a big family.
Not you.
I get it.
But I'm saying, right, the general concept is we tend to overindulge. There's always the jokes about, eating so fucking much that you're full and you pass out on the couch watching these football games because you just ate until you couldn't even eat no more.
I didn't cancel football this last
But I mean, here's the thing. Like, there was this crazy scene, if anybody's seen The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Do you remember the scene where they were sitting there and just stuffing themselves with food and they were like, oh no, look, take this. And you basically throw up and keep eating. It's celebratory of this very gluttonous and greedy ass American society.
No, I get it. But I get there's no but to it. I just simply get it. What other holidays do you cancel? Wasn't Adriana Simmons?
Andrea Simmons.
Andrea Simmons. What other holidays, American holidays, do you cancel?
So
I mean, name them.
I mean, she said all of them.
Yeah, she said all of them. So
Well, I mean,
Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July.
Fucking New Year's? You can't even celebrate New Year's?
Labor Day.
I mean, and I think it's about
Halloween.
time. I think it's about time that, you know, I don't think we should cancel all American holidays, first and foremost. I think we need to do what we're doing right now and at least open our eyes up and figure out what the fuck this shit really does represent. And not represent as individuals, but as a country, and kind of figure this shit out.
And that's the thing.
Kind of like
if you
Germany.
realize, but if you realize, okay, these things are not rooted in anything good,
I agree
then
with you
if
on
we're going to
independence.
evolve and step forward as a society, it's time, and it's okay to let shit go. Like, that's the thing. I don't understand people who cling to fucking traditions just for the sake of tradition. Like, when people talk about certain types of unhealthy fucking foods being traditional black foods, I'm like, it's tradition because the slave master gave you that leftover shit. Like, that's not good food.
Yeah.
Like,
Agreed.
then it's like we hold to these weird things out of
fucking reason.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind. I'm like, let it go.
The monkey in the cage with the water type shit.
Like that weird ass analogy that you went somewhere else to kind of has that same point, right? At some point, we're doing shit just to do it.
Just to do it, yeah. So let's figure this shit out for next year. Let's figure out if we're gonna cancel it. I guess half of America has canceled it. Andrea Simmons, what is she? I'm curious. Is she what is her nationality, or what does she look like? Hit a picture. Tell her said hello. I'm just curious.
She's black.
She's black.
Simmons, yeah, okay. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I've just never celebrated. It's always been a family holiday for us, really.
I mean, like I said, I get it.
Yeah.
There's a level of me that gets it, but
yeah, just if you think more about it, like motherfucker, wake up type shit. I get it. I get it too.
She responded to your message.
What'd she say?
She says, "When you learn the background behind these holidays, you don't want to celebrate them."
That's true. So are we celebrating St. Patrick's Day? Is that one of those? All right. Anyway, no more goddamn green beer. Goddamn it. This one kind of got me. I don't want to say her name incorrectly. Vanessa Guillen. Okay. This is crazy. All right. Very sad story. The only reason I brought it up is because someone actually asked me to bring it up last week and talk about it, and this was when she was nowhere to be found and they didn't have the whereabouts for her. Just recently, Brianna, you said you read, we were looking up some information, and they got the results back from the remains that were found, and they found out that it was actually Miss Vanessa. So they did recover her remains. The story for this, it's a national story, so if you're not paying attention to it, and if you haven't heard anything about it, she was in Fort Hood. And correct me if I'm wrong, Brianna, because I don't want to fuck this up. But she was in Fort Hood. She was in the Army. And she had I guess what's coming out is that she actually had a relationship with the guy who ended up killing her. And she was going to out him out, I guess, because the other girl he was cheating on her with, the one that helped dispose of the body, she was cheating on the guy that killed her because she was in an estranged marriage. So she was still married at the time. Anyway, long story short, this idiot, David Keith Johnson Joseph, whatever his name is, he caught her in the armory and bludgeoned her with a hammer and got her body, called that girl that he was cheating on Vanessa with, and had her help take the body, dispose of the body, cut it up with a machete, a big knife, burn it up, and drop the body in 3 different places along a river.
Terrible.
What the fuck is wrong with us, man? Like not us. I mean us as a society. This story is not interesting to me because shit like this happens way too much. And like Killer Mike said, we're addicted to this murder porn. It's just we sit here and see this and we indulge into it, and yet nothing's going to change. We just fucking like stories, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to talk about it. The military is one of the biggest corrupt institutions. It's next to the fucking police. It is the police. It's the shitty government. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get it. You know, you protect your own. Even with the cops, and this is something I don't think I've ever talked to you about. I get why they protect their own. You know, if you're my brother, I would protect you too. And not to a certain extent. I'm going to fucking lie and steal and cheat for you if I have to. Is it wrong? Yes, it's wrong, but I fuck with you like that. You know what I mean? And we're not going to eliminate what's wrong. There's no way to eliminate errors in life, right? But what the fuck do we do about shit like this? Like, when it comes to authority, which is the issue to me, abusing their fucking power. And
so I've avoided talking about this one, not because I don't care about it. I have heard pieces of it. I think it's incredibly sad. But this, and again, I don't want to be disrespectful or insensitive when I say this, but this is one of those things that I notice when it's being picked up, at least by people on social media. Mm-hmm. It turns into almost that black on black type conversation, black on black crime, excuse me. Oh, sure. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, of course, this is disgusting. And unfortunate.
How do you think this would turn into something like that?
Well, what I mean, that's what I'm going to explain, is that you're talking about crime in general. And this wasn't a, situation where an officer just randomly pulled a person and started harassing them and it turned into this. This is a interpersonal situation that, like you said, there were some relationships gone wrong. And some just complicated shit. And as unfortunate as that is, that's part of society.
Yeah.
There's always going to be crime. There's always going to be murder. There's
Fucked
going to
up
be
situations.
Rape. There's going to be sexual assault. There's all that's, as humans, we live in it. Yeah.
We're not going to avoid it.
It's fucked up. And what I don't want to happen is just that we start conflating these things because of the atmosphere.
And make it more than what it is.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. I don't mean, because I'm not going to take away from it. It's horrible. But we can't start acting and trying to equate it with police violence and state-sanctioned murder and things of that nature. And that's all I mean by that.
No,
it's unfortunate. I hope she gets justice. I hope those men are prosecuted.
Just to go into that, I'm cutting you off, but just to go into that, the police confronted the guy who killed her. He ended up killing himself. He's dead.
Okay.
He killed himself. They ended up getting a hold of the girlfriend. The dude that killed Vanessa, black man. The girl that was married that he was fucking with, a white woman, Vanessa, Hispanic. The guy killed himself. They got the estranged wife, whatever. She's in jail right now. She snitched and told everything. She told everything. So justice is served, but it's not served because she had to lose her life for this, and like for some stupid situation because I'm outing you out for cheating on me and whatever it was. And this was obviously something, and like I was talking about it, this wasn't a crime of like I'm mad, like I am trying to rob you and I'm going to kill you. This was a crime of passion. Like he bludgeoned her with a hammer. Right. You don't kill someone with your bare hands because you're trying to whatever
rob them. Yeah, that's
this is a crime of passion, so to speak, and it sucks. And I'm pretty sure that's why he killed himself. He felt bad. He was hurting about it, whatever. Which I don't give a fuck how he felt. I wish he wouldn't have killed himself. I wish he would have talked and let us know what's going on before he killed himself. Because I think answers need to be known. But like you said, I agree with you. And kind of, if you want something to say after I say this, you can. But I kind of want to end this whole conversation about Miss Vanessa. But, I lost my train of thought. Like, that's how bad it was. Go ahead, Brianna.
So, a couple of comments here. Maria says it's effed up on so many levels.
That's right down the street from where she stays at.
She says not only abuse of power, but abuse of women in the military. Ashley Nicole says she has a question for you. Is justice really served? She's only facing 20 years max.
Well, she was in a set was. Justice is never going to serve. When someone's life is gone and the other person is punished with time in jail, life in jail, none of that shit equates to anything. The only thing that would equate to justice being brought back is if you lose your life to bring the person's life back that you killed.
So, I mean, yeah, I would ask her, what do you consider would be justice then?
Ask her. You hear us, Ashley. Ashley, what is my Ashley or our Ashley?
Your Ashley.
Okay. Answer the question if you can. What do you consider justice? To answer your question off top without knowing what you're talking about, the answer I would say is no. completely no, it's not served.
Yeah, there, like you said, I agree. There is no justice.
Yeah,
there's even if we were a country that allowed cruel and unusual punishment, meaning you allow torture,
stone his bitch ass in the fucking Central Hall.
It doesn't bring
Hall.
the person back. So there's really no. I don't think there's any ever feeling of justice. So I don't know.
Yeah. But I was gonna say something. I think I remember my thought. But when he talks about she mentions abuse of power. I think that is a big play in this. But to bring this story up as if there's a solution to whatever problem there is, guys, it's not. This is just a bad situation where a crazy, stupid individual did something stupid and it cost somebody's life. This is not one of those situations to where we can delve into this and figure out how to solve something.
I think the one thing I will say, because there have been a handful of women in the military that have gone missing or murdered in situations like that. And what I think, and this is one of those things you're shooting way too big, but it's kind of addressing misogyny is the same as addressing racism. There's so much that goes into trying to disassemble, misogynistic behavior and toxic male behavior and shit like that it's not. It's a difficult conversation. It's like I said with racism, there's so much to try to dissect to really fix that, and it goes to the same with shit like this. You're talking about getting to the root of why that type of crime even occurs.
Yeah, you're not going to a crazy motherfucker just being crazy, and unfortunately she had to lose her life. But go ahead.
So Ashley Nicole says she's her own Ashley. Let's be clear.
Ashley.
But she doesn't think it's enough time when drug dealers get more time.
Let's not sit here and compare one to the other. Let's not sit here and try to justify one thing by the justification of another, if that makes any sense.
Well, that's why I asked. If she feels more time, then say that. If that's what you think is justice, and that's
to answer her question,
I can't disagree with that.
My answer is no. I don't think justice will ever be served. I don't care if she did life in prison. I don't think that. Just no shit. I don't just no. But yeah. You brought up something, all right, and this is from Cassidy. Men are trash, or what did she say?
All men are trash.
All men are trash,
it's
right?
a conversation we've had many times.
Several times. And I jumped into one. I think that's how I first ran into you on one of those type conversations, and that was a mistake. I would never jump into that again. And you believe men are fucking trash, bro. Like you're on the side. You're on the side that you believe that men are shit.
We're absolute trash, and I think you have to actively work at addressing your misogynisty, your internalized misogyny. The same way that I believe all white people are inherently racist because it's just what's taught. I don't think that's any different for men, and it's weird to me, especially black men, that we can't understand. We have this argument with white people all the time.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're racist. You grew up, your school system's racist. Like all these things that taught you this racism.
But
we can't turn it around and say, no, we live in a patriarchal society that teaches the same type of shit as far as this toxic masculinity and this internalized hatred for women. And we can't simply turn around and acknowledge we do that shit.
Do you remember my stance on that whole topic?
I don't.
And not disagreeing with what you're saying, because I think men as a whole is trash, is fucked up. But I think I was saying that society, in my opinion, is just fucked up. I don't think it's just men. I think where we're at right now, right? Women are fucking trash too.
And I'll agree with that. And I made that argument to her, and I told her, because the thing is,
it's not just a man thing, bro.
It's not strictly a man thing, because this is the thing. Just like white people are racist, black people hate themselves too.
Yeah.
That same racism, we internalize it towards ourselves as well. So that's no different for women. Yeah. Women have internalized misogyny as well. Yeah. And you see it the way they argue amongst each other sometimes. And that's what I'm saying, is that I'm not going to disagree. You're right. All men are trash. And that's why I said we have to actively work to undo it.
Yeah.
I can admit that even though I try, I sometimes don't see, I have my little blind spots, and I'm always open to the conversation to adjust that. But I know it's there, and I can admit that. And so even when I'm not behaving in that manner, I try to avoid the not all men thing, because I'm like, yeah, I might be the exception. There might be a few men here and there, but in general, men are shit. We have to work at not being shit.
Yeah, and I agree. We are what we are. But women, I know you like to put yourself on this pedestal like y'all's pussy don't stink. But that motherfucker's kind of tarty sometimes. Y'all's pH levels be off too, goddammit. But yeah, y'all are pretty shitty too. And the reason why I can speak more on that than men, because I don't deal with men like that. Not saying you do, but I don't deal with men. I know
But you see it. See, and I think that's what women expect from us.
I got some shitty homeboys, like, trust me.
And I think that's what women are expecting. And honestly, and it's difficult. Don't get me wrong, it's difficult. But that's what we have to do as men, is we have to start holding each other more accountable.
To a certain extent.
I would say it's difficult because, again, the way we're brought up as men, when we start crossing lines of trying to call each other out on our behavior, we tend to be like, hey, fuck you, mind your business. And so that's one of those things where to say to an extent isn't necessarily correct. It's just that, again, we've been socialized in that way to not interfere. I mean, but this is going back to the human element. In a perfect world, we would check everyone. But the thing about it is there's some things that just not going to stop. Does that mean that we should let everything go? No. I've checked some of my friends in situations. I've checked myself, and people have checked me as well. So I understand my perfection is far from that, right? But I also understand that there's just some shit that is gonna just happen that is out of my control. And you know, I've spoke on a lot of shitty shit that people have done, but they still do it. Well, but I think, and see, that's
should I try not no more?
No. Here's the difficult part, because this is, again, and I always use this argument because it's the cleanest way I know how to try to get us to see it, is that the same way we expect white people to hold their racist family members accountable, we got to do that. We got to have those difficult conversations. We expect white people to say, hey, auntie, uncle, sister, whoever, that shit's racist. You got to stop. You can't do that. We as men have to be able to have those conversations. And sometimes it may sound fucked up, but if that means you got to clip clip somebody out of your life because they're just a bad human, that may not change their behavior. But at some point, like, isn't that the whole idea behind social shaming?
Yeah.
Is that you make somebody feel bad enough for their behavior that they either have to adjust it or they end up being a social outcast.
And most of the time they're a social outcast and shit is worse.
I wouldn't say worse.
Well, but like,
for them, if they refuse to change their behavior, it could be.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, as long as you allow and enable your brethren to continue to act a certain way, they have no real need to change.
This guy said brethren. He's used real words. He said brethren. Do y'all believe men are trash? And this is going to be a topic. We're not going to dwell into it right now, but dive into it right now. But we can have this conversation. We could even call Cassidy on the phone. Y'all will love her. Y'all will love her. She's the most confrontational.
Cassidy's a real one.
She'll annoy the fuck out of you, but it's like, she's right. She's. We've had a conversation about her. I love her. There's nothing about her that I don't like, but she'll give it to you real. And if she's not gonna give it to you real, she'll be as petty as she possibly can. And she knows
she'll hurt you. She will make you take a real look at yourself. And so that's where that cognitive dissonance kind of kicks in, because you're like, fuck, I want to be mad at her, but...
And when she's wrong, guys, when she's wrong, she doubles down. Like, she's not going to... That's the thing about her that I think is funny. When she's wrong about shit, she doesn't give a fuck. This is how she feels, and there's nothing you can do about it. She'll double, triple, quadruple down as soon as she can. But that'll be something for a later show. I am going to... What do you say? Nothing? So we're going to go into our next segment, and I'm going to call, we have a guest, and we're going to make him a regular. So this is our first Republican, guys. We have a Republican on the show, and I like the what do you call it? The diversity in the show. That's why I like having you on, because, you know, we say a lot of the same, we talk about a lot of the same topics differently. Yeah. This guy is going to talk about it way fucking differently, okay? And that's going to be dope, and I encourage this. And these are the conversations, which is one of the reasons why I started this show. So I actually found out the reason why I am doing Socially Irresponsible on episode 20. I figured it out. I want this to be a platform for us, all right? We don't need... and I don't want to get all like, whatever, but just listen to me real quick. If y'all are listening, just bear with me. I want this show to be about you, everyone watching. Let me go to this camera. Let me switch cameras. And as I switch cameras, shameless plug with our information. Oh, right there. Go save. So do all that shit. So I want this show to be about you guys. Like, I want you guys to be this show. I want to talk to you. I want you to talk to us. And when I say us, I mean everyone who's listening. I want this to be our platform to express and talk about our issues that we have. And we don't need TMZ. We don't need the news. We don't need to see what celebrity gossip is going on, because we have real issues that are going on in our life that we need to discuss and have somewhere to talk about it. We had Tiffany on the show. I don't know if you've talked to Tiffany. Have you talked to Tiffany yet? And she had a situation with her husband. Her husband's white, she's black, and he didn't believe in the Black Lives Matter, and he was fucking up the family. He heard the show. Mm-hmm. He heard what she said. They're fucking a lot better now after that. He's opening his ears. He's listening. He's trying to get it. He's actually getting it. And they're a lot fucking better.
I'm impressed, and I'm glad to hear that.
We actually helped somebody. And she thanked the show about it. And they're good now. Did you talk to her about it yet?
Not in detail.
Well, I'm going to have her come on the show. Not come on. We're going to call her back one day, and we're going to have a recap. That shit made me feel good.
Yeah. That's good news.
Yeah. So if we can sit here and make this a platform, not for us, but for us, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if we could all talk and get shit out, fuck the celebrities. I don't care about what's going on in, Jada Pickett's life, unless I'm fucking her. I don't care about what's going on in, Des Bryant's life. We have our own issues, and I think they're more important for our sanity and our health than, celebrity gossip.
While you're getting that together, I got to read a comment.
Go ahead.
Is it Andrea or Andrea?
I think it's Andrea.
Okay, Andrea, she says, I think men treat women how they allow them. It's up to us to walk away from trash men. And I had to say that because I agree 100%.
Niggas are only going to get away with what you allow it. Do you know the reason why niggas send dick pics to females to try to get a hold of them? Because somewhere down the line, a female said, oh shit, we fucking. I like this. So that's the reason why men do shit like that, because y'all allow it. If y'all come together as a female.
Not all women allow it.
No, they
Let's
don't.
be real about that. So that's the thing. An unsolicited dick pic is the problem.
But at some time in his life, it worked for him. So again, if it never worked for him, he started getting his ass kicked or cussed out, and it never worked for him, he's gonna change a new strategy. We're getting to it later. We're getting to it later. All right. Let's see what we got for Sean. Hello. Sean, what's good, baby?
Hey, you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
When's the last time you sent an unsolicited dick pic?
I ain't answering that. I'm a married man.
Don't do that shit. Don't even send unsolicited dick pics to your wife. She doesn't want them. Have you tuned into the show? Have you been watching?
I checked out one of the episodes earlier. I've been watching today, though.
Okay, perfect.
So far.
I want you to look at it right now.
Got it.
Can you see the screen? What do you see?
Yeah.
We got you.
There's going to be
I see you and Adrian. What up, Adrian? You got enough bass in your voice. I'm sorry about earlier. I just couldn't hear you.
It's all right. I had him adjusted. I told him to turn the treble down instead.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you're gonna see it in a second, and I want you to see we have you up. We have an image for you. We have who we're talking to.
Okay.
So we have you on screen.
Hey, did you pull that off of did you take that off of MySpace, my old MySpace account?
No, I took it off your Black Planet account, bro. So Sean, introduce yourself, man. I'll let you have the floor. It's all yours, man.
Well, first off, I'm not Republican. Don't listen to what he said. I did vote for the Republican candidate.
Who is that?
But that doesn't look. Republicans are just as bad as Democrats. All right.
Here we go.
I don't like politicians in general.
Yes. Went to Madison High School. You graduated a year younger than me.
Yeah.
Year after you.
Right? 01.
There you go. 01. I'm tripping. I went the wrong way. So you're in A&M. You're married.
Yep. College Station. Juvenile probation officer.
So you deal with a lot of the inner city. Fuck ups, right?
I wouldn't call them fuck ups, but yeah, the majority of the kids I deal with from the ages of 10 to 17, sometimes older. Yeah. Low income, inner city,
troubled youth. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying. I wasn't trying to be funny, or whatever. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're it's just bad situations. And the reason why I bring that up is because I have you on the show because we have all these back and forths, and it's always, you know, we're friends. Like Sean is actually a friend. Like I fuck with Sean. I was going back with Ray Casey, and I let Sean read that. He's not a friend, so I don't talk to him. I talk to him as if he's a fucking stranger, because he is. I don't know him. I couldn't pick him out of line. Sean, I fuck with Sean. Sean says some stupid shit that I don't agree with. Some shit that makes me think like if I needed him in the revolution, he would not be there, which I don't expect him to be there. He's on the other side. But Sean's gonna be honest, right? And he's gonna say some shit that we don't agree about. But the good thing about it is we can talk about it, and hopefully, Sean, you can make me understand my errors if I feel I have errors, or if you feel I have errors, and hopefully I can make you understand where I'm coming from. You work in the inner city. You understand what's going on in real life time, in real time. So you're not the one that's on the outside oblivious thinking that, you know, we're just fucking up. You understand the situation. Can I say that correctly?
Yeah, I would say I'm never going to say I fully understand anything in life, but I would say I got a little bit better of a perspective than most people that walk around in shoes similar to mine.
Okay, yeah. And then
if that's fair.
No, that's fair. I mean, we're here to be honest, man. Just have this conversation. Beer TV. Let's go into Beer TV. I want a shameless plug for you guys. You talk about it. I'll let you get it.
Well, you know how it is. I mean, like you were saying earlier, we came from Madison, San Antonio. Some of us boys, we knew how to keep it tight for a long time, and we have going on 20-something, 25 years. And when all this COVID stuff hit and everybody was locked down and nothing to do, some of us worked and some of us didn't. Shit, people were going to social media to look for what? An escape, information, entertainment. One of our boys who's just always putting out content, just trying to get laughs and, you know, bring people together. He threw that idea out there. 10 of us got together, put together a Facebook page, and it's just blown up in 2 months, man. Beer TV. Go check it out on Facebook. We've got it on Instagram. I believe on Instagram and Snapchat, it's Beer TV Chug Life. We put out videos. The one on Facebook, we keep all the politics and shit off of it. We don't want politics. We're trying to make it a place where you can go and just go and not worry about any of that shit.
They've kicked people off.
Anybody and everybody. What's that?
No, I was saying y'all monitored very well. Y'all kicked people off, not in a mean way, but when that bullshit starts, they have to get rid of it. They'll take post off. And it is what it is, right, Sean? It's Beer TV, a bunch of adults having beer, having fun, and just enjoying a place to enjoy life.
Any
right?
drink. You like beer, you like Hennessy, you like wine, whatever, yeah.
He said Hennessy, goddammit. Racist bastard. So our first segment right here, we're going to go into the what the fucks of the week, okay? Look at these motherfuckers, okay? So these are going to be the controversial. These are the shit that you're going to see black, whites, Americans, Jews, dogs, animals, cats, whatever, just out there fucking up. And some people think they're not fucking up. Some other people think they do fuck up. If you have your phone with you, you could probably hear it on our end because we have some videos, but try to look into it and tell me what you think and chime in. I'll call you on, okay? So check this out. First, we have something that's been happening lately, okay? So these are all the Black Lives murals that have been posted around the world on streets. On streets, they have one on Fifth Avenue, I believe, in front of Donald Trump's Trump Tower in New York. The Dallas, Austin. We have this one in Albany. We have North Carolina. So everywhere across the country, they're painting Black Lives Matter onto the street, all right, in support of Black lives. What is your stance on Black lives, Sean?
You talking about on them in general or the movement?
Answer them both.
In general, I value them as just as much as any other life, or else I wouldn't be doing what I've been doing for 10 years. I started out wanting to help just people in general. I didn't care what color they were. I didn't care what religion, what gender, and now, there's about 15 different genders, so it don't matter. All lives to me matter.
You're actually into like the hundreds, I think.
Yeah, you lowballed it. It's more genders.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's more than that? Damn. My bad.
So
it's ever evolving, so it's not your fault.
Yeah, that shit changed. It's like it changes like fucking, I don't know, fucking dictionaries. I don't know. Anyway, how do you feel about the movement now?
I understand why the movement is there. I don't have a beef, about the movement. I think the confusion comes in that some people try to hijack it. Some people get lumped in there, not because that's what the Black Lives Movement wanted, but just because there are going to be people out there in this world that will inherently take advantage of whatever bandwagon they can hitch onto that's hot at the moment.
I'm glad you said that, and you understand that the movement is actually a thing, and there are some people that may shout out Black Lives Matter, but they really aren't part of the Black Lives Matter train, so to speak. Now, you saw the murals, right? So, of course, around the country, not just the country, around the world, they have in other countries that they are painting Black Lives Matter on street signs just to show support for the culture and what we're going through, not just for us, mainly for us, but for the world, about the social injustice and the police brutality and just fuck ups for the world, right? So in, where was this? Martinez, California. This happened. Check it out.
We're sick of this narrative. That's what's wrong. The narrative of police brutality, the narrative of oppression, the narrative of racism.
Check your phone.
It's a lie.
I'm watching it.
It's a lie. This is racism is what it is. That's what it is. There is no oppression. There is no racism. I said no one wants Black Lives Matter here. That's what I said. Oh, really? All lives matter, you fucking bum. Now you want to get my face?
Is she spell correcting that shit or what?
Huh?
I said, she spell correcting that shit or what?
That's right. Why don't you guys learn about history? The Emancipation Proclamation Act. Yeah, that's right. Abraham Lincoln. You're only free because of our forefathers.
Oh, was there audio to this too?
Yeah.
You know what? All lives matter, dude. I ain't fucking down for this bullshit.
Until Black Lives Matter, no lives matter.
Yeah, all lives matter. All lives matter, that's right.
Shut the fuck up with that locked up in cages. You're fucking wrong. This is not good.
No,
you are not good.
You know what's not good? Kids in fucking cages right now. That's
Shut
not
the fuck
good.
up. That's not happening, okay?
Yes, it is, bitch.
Bitch, I will smack the fuck out of you.
You know what?
That's not happening.
The only reason why you're crying, why people cry police brutality, people are resisting arrest. Don't have it running with the law and don't resist arrest. It won't be a problem.
That's not what's happening. They literally kneeled on that poor black man's face.
Yeah, no, nobody agrees with that. I don't agree with that either. That was wrong.
Okay, so then?
That was
wrong. Why are you painting over Black Lives Matter if you said that was wrong?
All lives matter.
No, they don't. Until Black Lives Matter, all lives don't matter.
Damn, I thought she was about to hit somebody with the pen.
They don't? Why don't all lives matter? I think your life matters just as much as mine.
What do you think, Adrian? So Sean, finish watching the video. There's gonna be a delay, so you watch the video. Did it end?
No, not yet.
All right. I'm gonna let Adrian speak real fast. And what do you think about that, Adrian?
Which part? Just in general?
I mean, it was a lot of stupidity from the two. First of all, this dude's out there making his wife work while you just, spitting some bullshit.
So I'll be real honest. You know me, I'm a little bit more extreme. I don't partake in this type of silly shit because I'm not going to waste my time trying to convince a motherfucker that my life matters.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this is akin to these more humble stances where you're begging the oppressor to acknowledge your life and your worth. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste my fucking time. I know my worth. I'm not going to play that game.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't even waste my time with it. However, seeing that type of reaction out of that dude, I'm like, I'm probably going to want to fight. Like, that's just me. Like, you trying to paint over shit, you're being insulting. I'm just going to either want to fight or I just got to leave the situation altogether, because that type of ignorance, you're not going to get over it. And I don't understand why people waste their time having these yelling matches with somebody.
Trying to convince somebody.
You're not going to convince them. You're just not. This type of person is already stuck in their mindset, especially in this setting. If you decide you're going to be some sort of noble crusader for this, you would have to have a private conversation with that type of person, and maybe you might have a conversation where you reach a civil understanding. But in that atmosphere,
it's not happening. He's yelling, his cell phone is out, he's proving a point, you're proving a point. Sean, why do you think why, and of course, you don't have the answer, so we're just speaking. You talk to a class of people that I don't talk to every day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Why do you feel that they just don't fucking get Black Lives Matter? Why do you think they just don't fucking understand?
Because I think that video was a perfect example of why a lot of people don't get shit anymore. There's no communication, no discussion. It's a bunch of yelling, cussing, just disrespecting. And there's whatever the message was, whether they started it or they picked it up along the way, it got lost. Yeah. Nobody heard it. All I saw was a bunch of people running around yelling, saying this and that. And honestly, none of them changed a damn thing. Like Adrian said, even if somebody sat there, if Adrian could eloquently go in there and be like, hey, look, man, this is and just lay out a case, I don't think either one of those guys are going to give a shit. Or that guy and that girl, I'm sorry. If that's what she is, I don't know if that's what she identifies gender-wise. But
they are in California, so you better be respectful, sir.
Shit. All right, you're going to get me in trouble.
but why, like, okay, so I'm going to ask you straight up. Black Lives Matter. What is Black Lives Matter movement? What are they fighting for? What is the fight for Black Lives Matter?
There's a lot now. Damn it, there's a lot. I know where it started, and of course, everything really changes over time.
No, but it's really not a lot. It's a specific.
Have you gone to their page?
well, they have.
You are asking them kind of a loaded question, so you'd have to simplify it.
Like, okay, so let's say from the very beginning, when Colin Kaepernick took his first knee, right? And he was wanting something to happen. He was wanting two things to happen. What were the things that he was wanting to be recognized and addressed and fixed?
You're asking me. I think it was he was drawing attention to what he deemed as a serious problem in this country: police brutality against people of color.
Okay.
And the fact that he picked the national anthem to do it obviously tied that into a larger thing, not just the police, but as a nation, as a country.
We'll talk about that shit later. That's a whole nother show. But yes, that's what it was about. So it was just basically about the fight for social injustice and police brutality. Period. So if you think that those two things are an issue in this country, you support the movement. Basically.
Well, and I think that's the thing that the guy in the video is saying. He calls it a narrative. He doesn't believe it's real and that it exists.
Oppression, social injustice, police brutality, he specifically said is not a real thing. It does not exist.
Right. So if a person doesn't believe that even exists, of course they can't understand or get behind this movement. And so that's why, like talking to this gentleman here, he understands those things are real.
Yeah.
So that's why he gets it. So that's where you said the people that he interacts with.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Have you interacted with anybody that's like this dude in the last, say, 2 months yourself?
That don't understand what that feel that
all lives matter. They kind of approach the situation with that mentality.
Racism isn't really a thing. It's just a one-off type situation, and police brutality is because the criminal is resisting. Do you like what? I'm pretty sure you've met and talked to people like that. What is that conversation like? What is? Just speak on it, man.
You talking to me?
I'm definitely talking to you.
Okay, I was just making sure because the video's got my video's got a lag. So I want to say something real quick. So I think I don't know if it's the fact that people don't think it exists. I think it's a matter of what they consider on a grand scale or a serious issue. And personally, I think if it exists even to a minute level, it's an issue. But some people may equate, oh, well, it's not what it used to be. So we've made progress. So it's not a big issue. While they don't have to deal with it, it might not seem like a big issue. Like, for me, now, contrary to what you believe, I've kind of taken a step back from having those conversations. I got real worn out 4 years ago because I did want to have as many discussions and conversations with everybody that I could.
I was wearing your ass out at that time too. I was tearing your ass up on Facebook too.
I know we went back and forth a lot. But we tried to keep it civil. It's hard to do on Facebook because so many people chime in.
Yeah.
And you end up over in the weeds before you know it. You're talking about some shit that you didn't even start talking about.
Yeah.
So
if you have an all lives matter person or someone that believes that social injustice and racism, police brutality is just a narrative of the media and it's not a real thing, it's something that they're trying to make you believe is happening for their own personal agenda. When you ran those people, because I know you have, What is that conversation like? What do you say? Do you say anything? Do you feel like you should say anything? What do you do? Like, why do, when they tell you about that, what is it that they think? Why do they tell you they think what they think?
Well, I think a lot of it's like you said, it's typically a media-driven thing. Which, man, the way you opened up this segment was exactly what I want to see nowadays. Is we need to become the media. We need to become the reporters, the news. We don't need to be looking to TMZ, Fox, CNN for this shit, because the people that pull on, if you look far enough down that road, it's all going to go to a money pot somewhere. Yeah. And numbers can be fudged, stories can be manipulated, and we're all just puppets in the game. But if you got a stake, if you got a skin in the game like you do, and you're trying to step out there and put people on the platform and bring people together to talk and listen, that's how we're going to take this shit back. And that's how it needs to start. So I commend you for what you're doing here. And that's why I've never had a problem with any stance you've ever had or how you came at me, much less anybody else, because it's all perspective and opinions. And you ain't going to learn anything about anybody else unless you sit down to the table and listen. And look, I don't have to agree with anything you or Adrian says, but trust me, to be good at what I do, I better know how to listen, and I better respect the person I'm listening to, or things can go south real quick, which kind of goes in hand with, the whole police brutality thing and what we're talking about here today.
Well,
but that's not, and don't get me wrong, that's not the only issue that pops that off, but it's usually one.
Well, racism and all that shit is a thing, period. I want everyone to believe that it's a thing.
Yes. I mean, for me, I try, good and evil is what I boil it down to, because you can look at that as ageism, racism, gender, sexism. I'm not going to have some chart of 1 to 10 and say racism is 1, sexism's 2, whatever, and just go down, and homosexuality is 3, all that. I'm not going to do that. To me, it's all about good and evil. When I wake up, I try to do more good one day than I did the next.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect next to the other one, but yes, racism, it's been a thing. It is a thing. It exists, whether you want to call it a biased, like Adrian was saying earlier, so people learned it growing up in the schools or in the community, in their home, whatever. It's real.
Yeah, it's a thing, man. And if you have any of your friends that believe it doesn't exist, like, this is where, when it comes to equality, Sean, this is where you are the person that can change it more than me or Adrian. This is the time, in all honesty, you can help the movement, and not the movement for Black lives, for all lives. Because Black lives, believe it or not, is about all lives. And when you have those individuals that believe that racism isn't a thing, and these people out there of color are asking for it and they're resisting, like, that's not really what we're asking for, nor is that what we want. And I know you know that, but in your position, because they're in your circle, you can actually help them understand that, and you can educate them before I'll ever have a chance to speak to them. So keep just make sure you're doing that. If you believe in all lives matter, you'll educate them. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
We have another story, and this motherfucker here is, oh man. All right, check it out. So again, the video is going to be a 7-second delay, so you're going to hear it in about 7 seconds. Listen to it, and when you're done with it, we're gonna have you chime in. Okay? I don't know if you heard about this one. This is the one about the lady in Detroit that pulled out a gun on the black family. All right. Have you heard about that one, Sean?
No, I hadn't heard about that one.
Check it out. It happened 2, 3 days ago.
It started circulating about 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. All right. So check it out.
Wants to violate a 15-year-old.
No, I'm asking a question. She's a child.
She bumped into me when
so if she did something wrong, she needs to apologize. If she did
this ignorant woman bumped into a 15-year-old.
Correct?
And you're on camera.
Okay.
You're feeling threatened.
Okay, well, go in.
No, Mom.
I got this.
You're blocking me from getting my
No, we weren't. No, we weren't. No, we weren't. You're ignorant. Go ahead. She's ignorant. She's very ignorant.
Ignorant.
Yeah, I said, and you say something, I'll beat your white ass.
You
do something. Please put your
something.
hands up.
Do something.
Please.
Who the fuck do you think you guys are?
Who do you
Who do you think you are?
You
calling her name?
Yeah.
She did nothing to you.
Yeah,
I didn't. I didn't.
No,
you didn't. You're very racist and ignorant.
You're racist because you're calling
No,
her
you
name.
bumped it. She bumped into me.
You cannot just walk
Why would
around
you
calling
bump
white
her?
people
Why would you bump her?
racist. This is not that
Why
type
would
of
you
world.
bump her?
White people
Why
are
would you
racist.
bump her?
No one's
Why
racist.
would you bump her?
I
Why did
care
you
about
say
you.
sorry?
I care
Why
about
did you say sorry?
and I'm sorry if you've
Why
had
did
an
you say
incident
sorry?
that has made
If you
someone
bumped
make
into
you
her,
feel
why
like
did you
that.
say sorry?
No one is racist.
If you didn't do
I'm
anything, why
sorry
did
if
you
you
do that?
had something like that happen.
Ignorant.
No, she said ignorant perfectly.
Very. Mom, watch.
Get the fuck away from me!
You gonna get on her face.
You better get on my face right now. Get away. Get the fuck away. Get the fuck away. Are you gonna hit? You gonna shoot me? Get the fuck away. Oh.
Get away. Call the cops right now. Call them.
Oh.
Call the cops.
Get the fuck away.
Call the cops.
Get away.
She got the gun on me.
Call
He
them
was
now.
in the car. Call them. I'm telling. Get the
Call the cops.
Get the license plate.
Get
Get the license plate now. Cause you were never about to hit me with the damn car.
you
about to hit me with the car? Oh,
no.
don't get the guns on me. Call Richard back up here, police. Call Richard back up here now. I got it.
Don't you fucking jump behind my
No,
car.
I ain't jumping on your car. What you
Don't you
doing?
fucking jump.
Mom, stop moving.
Stop, Mom. Get the fuck back. Back the fuck up. No,
You got all this on video? Yes.
No.
Mom, stop walking. They pulled the gun out on her.
These white people, they're so racist. They pulled a gun on my mama, both of them. It was a white lady and a white man.
You Brandon, you've seen this before, right? And I know Adrian has seen it.
No, I ain't seen it.
Give me your take on it, Sean. I want to hear your take. What do you think about that situation?
I've seen more videos like that. Most of them, people aren't getting out of cars; they're just driving through shit nowadays. And again, what sucks is everybody's going to see that perspective right there from that phone. And that's probably live feeding on Facebook somewhere. First thing I understand, why the hell are you filming that shit? Like if somebody had a gun on my mom, I'm not holding my phone. I'm sorry.
Well, from what you saw, like just from what we saw, let's just talk about the video. How do you feel about the parties involved, the black family, the white family? How do you feel about the interaction? How do you feel about it? Not all what we missed from the camera, what we did see, which is very important, mind you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But from what we saw, what do you your raw thoughts, since you've never seen it before? What do you think about it?
First off, I don't think there needed to be a gun pulled. I mean, so if I was playing devil's advocate, you can hit that button now.
That's my button. You don't get that.
Oh no! Oh, you're not gonna hit that button.
You don't get that one. That's mine.
Okay. In a court of law, could she prove that she felt her life was in danger? Now you have to understand why I'm doing this, because this is where I spend the majority of my time.
Okay.
Is in the court with these kids. So I'm trying to play it as best I can.
Okay.
And give you my honest feelings about it.
That's all I want. Your honest
I
feelings.
don't personally think she needed to pull a gun. Did the lady need to jump behind the van? No. But I mean, was she going to kill him from outside the van? Not unless she had something in her hands. I didn't see anything. I'm not seeing it from the perspective of the people in the van. But again, I mean, all this was started over what?
They said, I guess the white lady bumped into her 13-year-old child.
A bump.
Okay. I missed that part at the beginning. But I mean, and I always say this, I'm a lover, not a fighter. The one thing I will fight for is the things I love, which would be my kid. So I can see how that would get the feelings up a little bit if that happened to my child. But this shit doesn't need to be taken to this level. I'm sorry. I just don't. Too many people are losing their lives over this shit, whether it's white or black, when nobody wants to sit down and talk. Even if they hit a kid, and I say hit, but bumped into a kid, all this shit, and then it led to a gun being pulled. Come on. Where are we at as a society if that's what we're doing?
Adrian, the floor is yours, man.
So
I'm gonna let Adrian speak for
my thoughts on this one. I did agree. I think that the gun was probably an extreme reaction, but it's not a reaction that I can't understand on some level. And that's simply because what I explained to somebody, I said, have you ever been in a car and somebody slammed their hand on the window? Because if you have, there's a couple things that are involved with that. One, you can't see them. She was in the blind spot.
Did I hit somebody?
So you can't see them. So when they slam their hands like that, it's very loud from the inside of the car.
Yeah.
Because you're in a small enclosed space. So one, the vibration, you're going to feel it. Mm-hmm. Because just like when a bass thump, you feel it. It vibrates. So you're going to feel the thud of people hitting your car. Two, it's gonna seem really loud because it's right there. It's in your ear and you're in an enclosed space. That's why music seems so much louder in cars. So it's gonna startle the shit out of you. Okay. I've been in that situation. I've been, I remember.
Did you come out with a gun?
I did not, because I knew who was doing it.
Okay.
But it was still very jarring. It was a woman. I knew the woman. It was an ex-girlfriend. She was banging on the car, acting like a nut, and but it jars you initially because you're like, oh shit. Like you said, did you hit somebody or do they have something? You don't know what they're banging on your car with. You don't know what the fuck's going on. So it's alarming. So if you've already been interacting with somebody who's threatening to beat your ass and et cetera, I can see why things get heightened. Now,
I still don't, but I'm trying to follow you.
Now, again, I think the gun coming out may be a little bit extreme, but again, if you've got 2, maybe even 3 people surrounding your vehicle and that were confronting you and threatening to beat your ass, we live in the United States. People carry guns to defend themselves. So if she gets out and says, leave me the fuck alone, and in the video, you can see there's a 3-second gap where you don't see what happened because whoever was filming from that first angle was running towards her, I guess. So you've got somebody running towards you. You've got somebody else who was the one hitting your car saying, I'm going to beat your ass. People are converging on you. I can't really be too surprised if somebody pulls out the gun and says, get the fuck away.
She had no business, for one, getting out of the car if that's how she felt. Now, secondly, I think the black family is in the fucking wrong.
Oh, 100%.
I don't, and the thing about that is I don't think a lot of people would say that because it is the, stance that people don't want to take. But, for one, that family, and Sean, I'll say this, and this is something I'm going to say to you, as you being a white guy, the word racism is the worst word in America right now because it gets thrown around too loosely. Racism is an actual thing. I want everyone that's listening to understand racism is something, right? And bumping into your 13-year-old child and not thinking you did anything wrong and not saying I apologize is not what racism is. You following me, Sean?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And you can't go around and just tagging racism on people, right? Especially in the climate of it is right now. You can't. We can't play the racism card. And kind of what I was talking at the beginning of the show to Adrian, this whole movement of Black Lives Matter is literally going to turn into hashtag #MeToo movement in a matter of 3 or 4 months, where everyone's going to be crying wolf, crying wolf, crying wolf, and then you're going to prove that wolf is being cried, and all of a sudden, when real shit happens, no one is there to listen to you because now we think y'all are bullshitting and asking and demanding too much, which sucks. Black Lives Matter is a real fucking thing. Racism is a real fucking thing. Racists do fucking exist. They don't just bump into people in Chipotle parking lots when you're walking, okay? That's not how that shit works. That black family, that was not a fight for them to fight. That lady,
it was stupid, and that was what my whole point was. Don't allow things like this to get conflated with the Black Lives Matter thing, because specifically Black Lives Matter centers around police. Basically, you have state-sanctioned murder. This is different because what I explained is that no, this woman got herself caught up in some street shit. This is what happens, and when you get caught up in street shit, the rules are different.
Yeah.
The reason that people are demanding justice from police, because police have a set of rules they're supposed to abide by. These men are out there and they're supposed to uphold the law. They're supposed to follow rules, regulations. They take oaths to protect people. This woman at Chipotle didn't take none of those oaths. She doesn't have those rules to follow. Yeah. That's just a woman trying to protect herself because you're telling her you beat her ass. So you've engaged in some other shit. You went looking for it.
And you got it.
Yeah, you got it. So again, while I think, it's extreme that the gun came out, I'm like, you wanted this.
You asked for it. You should have set your ass down and took. And not only that. So Sean, the white lady and her husband got arrested for this, right? So they have charges of aggravated assault, I believe, felony charges actually. Do you think they should go to jail?
No.
I agree. I don't think jail time. I don't think this is. Go ahead.
I think what they should do is take all the parties involved in there, sit their ass in the room, and let them talk it out. And if any of them starts popping off, then throw their ass in jail. Because putting her to jail ain't going to do nothing. It's just going to keep sending this thing down the shithole. But until people actually sit down and hash out what happened in that parking lot, they're not going to learn anything from that moment. Sit y'all's ass down in a room, talk about it, figure out what happened. If somebody throws an apology out, good. If somebody just wants to pop off, all right, bye.
No, I agree with that. A mediator would be best for the situation and not a judge. Yeah,
restorative justice.
That's actually a good idea. I never fucking actually ventured off to think about that being a solution. So that's actually a good solution. I think that we need to, as black people in this situation, we need to take a look back and actually see what we're really fucking doing with this movement.
Well, that's what my whole thing is.
We're fucking it up.
The atmosphere right now is that every
we really are.
person wants to catch some shit going viral because look, I caught a racist being racist on film, and I'm like, for what? And that's why I said, what were you really looking for in confronting this woman about bumping into your 15-year-old? I'm like, you know how many fucking times I get bumped a day? Yeah. Like if I'm in a public place, you get bumped into. And sometimes if I feel the motherfucker should have moved out of my way, you know what I do? I turn around and I say, excuse the fuck out of you.
And walk the fuck home.
No, I'll stand there for a couple seconds. I want to see if they want to get froggy. Like, how you feeling?
Yeah.
If they turn around and say, oh, my bad, all right, keep it moving. If they turn around and, look and keep moving, I'm still going to be like, all right, fuck you. And I keep moving.
Yeah.
Now, if they turn around and it goes there, then again, but that's what I expect.
You're looking for
and I'm looking for that by saying, excuse the fuck out of you. So I'm not going to be surprised if it goes to the next level because I expected that and I antagonized that. And that's what I'm saying with this person. They went looking for that problem. And more specifically, how did you end up in front of her? The film didn't start with you following her. This means that you are looking for a viral situation. You want
phone was ready to get recorded.
Yeah, I'm like, what is your phone coming out for?
Just my message to anybody out there, man. And Sean, like I said, man, I understand that every situation, and I'll be the first to say, I'm pretty sure. Now I'm gonna say this, but I don't give a fuck really how it feels. But I'm pretty sure to play the devil's advocate, white people that are not racist or don't like being called racist. I'm pretty fucking sure, right? So, I don't know what I want to use, but I guess I would like to not apologize, but it sucks, right? This is what it is. It sucks. And I get it.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those situations that black people, we got to do better. We have to understand what is conflict, what is, and what's not. What is someone coming for your head because of your color, and what is just a fucking accident that can really be resolved in better ways? Because this situation could have ended with your life gone. Not only could it have ended like that. I mean, these are your kids. You have your two children there, right? Mm-hmm. And you're the parent, and woman is flailing a gun in front of your face because of the way that you're acting. That she could have popped off and shot you and left your kids with no
because if she was
or killed your kids.
If she was truly a more unstable person, the way everybody wants to paint her, she would have popped her.
She would have popped because in the fucking face.
Because that's the way I said it is. I'm like, flip this scenario, insert other things in there. I promise you, had another black person bumped into her daughter, this shit goes down 100% different.
Yeah, no, it does.
Why? Because she probably doesn't follow her out and confront her like that over being bumped. You know why? Because she, in her mind, thinks that the black people might pull out guns. Uh-huh. What she was expecting was your standard ass Karen that's going to cry and no, please don't. That's what she thought she was going to find. What she found was a woman who's about that life. Karen was like, stop fucking with me.
This Karen from Detroit, goddammit.
Not all Karens are created equal.
but yeah, man. So this what the fuck and look at this motherfucker is actually to the
David.
black family. Go ahead.
Hey, can I address something before we jump off this one? I don't mean to.
No, go ahead.
Take Bree's. I don't want to take Bree's job off the Oz here, but so Andrea is asking us, why are we ignoring state laws? We're viewing this as through Texas laws. I'm not even looking at Texas or any other state. I'm just talking about the law of man, common sense fucking laws. Like, this isn't a courtroom. Like, the way I'm looking at it is not by a judge, jury, or a cop. I'm just telling you,
right or wrong,
from where I stand, like. I'm pretty sure if that shit happened in the, down in the hood, the laws are a lot different there than where that happened in Detroit.
And that's why I said I don't care about the legalities of it. Like this is just street shit that you found yourself involved in, and that's why I said I don't like people trying to conflate this with state violence from the police, because I'm like, no, you talking about this is just people, and people don't abide by laws clearly, and so fuck what the laws were. This was you found yourself tangled up in some stupid shit, and it went stupid.
Adrian, Andrea, what is your stance on this whole situation? Of course, I'm looking at the situation to where shit could have been avoided, and this wasn't that day to flex your nuts and drop your dick and prove that you the baddest motherfucker on the block. This situation wasn't that. That's my stance on it. And at some point, black people or people in general have to take responsibility for some of the shit we get into. There's some shit like the George Floyd, like you can't take responsibility for a motherfucker just being the worst person that they possibly can be in life on that day, and you ran into them. You can't take responsibility for that. But there are some times that we can take responsibility, and I think this is one of those times that she was fucking wrong. Now, Andrea, let me know your stance. Type it in there if you want to. I'm curious on how do you feel this situation should have been handled and who did or did not go too far. On the next one, we have one more look at this motherfucker, and this is just some coward-ass, hoe-ass shit. Check this shit out.
I'm high, but I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk. I'm high, but I'm both right now. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk. I'm high, but I'm both.
Oh, I've seen this one. I just saw this one.
That's some whole ass shit, man.
What song was that?
Shit's crazy.
I don't know.
But it sounded like Drake.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't want to blame. I tell you, Drake is the cause of a lot of shit.
You're a fucking dick. That's some whole ass shit, man. Like we can't, like I said, man, not everything is Black Lives Matter. So I'm not going to equate to that. When people look at shit like this, they're going to be like, well, that's why y'all niggas are getting shot. That's why y'all are blase. Don't you be saying that shit though, Sean? But that's kind of what the conversation is. I don't get it. I don't get, and this is more of humanity. I don't get why we're so like. What is the point in that? This is a grown ass man. And first of all, it's a weak ass punch. If you hit somebody blind side like that, that dude should have been knocked the fuck out. First and foremost.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was a weak punch because we don't want nothing to happen to this kid. But Sean, what's I guess there's no way to answer, man. What's going on with everybody, man? Like, what the fuck is up, man?
I don't know, but so I don't know if you saw, but I saw that, and I don't know if this is accurate, but he was 12. That kid that got hit is 12.
12 years old, man.
12 fucking years old, and he ate that punch. But I'll tell you what I saw from this video, and we can go back to where you want to take it. If you want some hope in society or where we are as a civilization, you just saw it. Not that guy hitting him, but the immediate reaction. And everybody's trying to divide us white and black. The immediate reaction of that black man when that white kid got hit, that gives me hope right there. And then all the people that surrounded him and the legit concern they had for him, that's what I view in that. Now, we can get back on the path that, man, I don't know what's going on with this world.
No, actually, Sean, as you said, I like that. I mean, I like that, when you see a situation like that, glass half full, You see the dude get hit, and of course, this is a white kid. Looks like he's in a black area. I didn't see a lot of white people in that area. He's out there dancing, learning hip hop. He needs to take some more lessons, but he's out there learning hip hop from the black the black guy, which I think was his teacher. And he's out in the corner just trying to hustle and make a living and just enjoy a culture that he wants to be a part of. And he gets hit by some idiot black dude. And I just say black dude because he was black, not he got hit because he was white and the other guy was black. But he got hit by some dude, and like you said, the community kind of went up and made sure he was good and embraced him. And it wasn't like, let's whoop his ass too. So that is a positive. I see how you can see that positive.
I have a
I just didn't want that to get lost in that.
No, that's a good point. I have a severe problem with the way you framed it, though, and I'll tell you why.
Myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying, well, this is why motherfuckers get shot because we present the look.
Yeah,
negative images are a thing.
Yes.
However, Obama,
one
of the most educated, well-respected, family man, Christian. He fit and checked every box. And look how racist white people still talked about him. So fuck what trash happens in society. Racist people are going to be racist people. So I don't like the presentation that somehow this gives legitimacy to people who want to view black people in a negative light.
It doesn't give it legitimacy. I know exactly what you're saying, and you're right. But it's not about what it really does. It's about what people take from a situation, right? We know that it doesn't give legitimacy to the whole let's tear down the Black Lives Matter movement and let's tear down the character of black men because of this. But we also are smart enough to understand that that's what it's going to do when white people see shit like this.
No, I disagree. This is where I'm saying I severely disagree.
You really do?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. One of the things I've learned in studying psychology is that propaganda does not change anybody's mind. Okay. It only reinforces what you already want to believe.
What you already want to believe. Makes sense.
And so that's why, no. This doesn't do anything. People were going to think the shit they were going to think about Black Lives Matter. About
they're just looking for reasons to reassure themselves.
Right. They're looking for confirmation bias anyway. So that's why I disagree with that. Now, it's stupid, and I think it's dumb. But it's, this is trying to understand criminal psychology. This shit's just fucked up. Yeah. This doesn't have nothing to do with anything else. And that's why I always resent those conversations when people try to bring up black on black crime or all these other things as it pertains to police violence. Because they don't have anything to do with each other. You're looking for an explanation to criminal behavior, and that conversation shouldn't be the same when we're talking about how police are conducting themselves. And that's the problem, is when people start trying to compare police and criminal, I'm like, well, don't you hear that? That's a fucking problem. Yeah. These are two totally fucking different things.
No way they should be in the same conversation.
They shouldn't be in the same conversation. You asking me, and that was one of the things I said, is that, well, why aren't y'all protesting, shit like that? Why the fuck would you? What criminal is going to sit and see a fucking protest or a march and be like, damn, let me rethink my whole fucking life?
No, you're fucking criminal. That's not how that's not my thought process.
Exactly. You don't give a fuck about anything. Yeah. So what the fuck are you going to sit there and be like, that picket sign, it made a lot of sense. I'm going to stop selling drugs. Like, what the fuck? I'm going to go to DeVry. I need to register. Right. So that's why I have an issue with that. And so that's why I'm like, this shit, just like and that's what I was speaking on in regards to the Vanessa Guillen. Her situation. It's unfortunate, but they're different, and we have to keep them within their lane. Yeah. Because otherwise it starts to get conflated, and they're not the same.
Try to make one thing justify one thing or help out another situation.
You're talking about crime in general, and that's what it is. We're always going to have
that's
people
just crime. Simple as that.
Right. Okay. And that's because do you remember the situation where there was a black guy who hit a young lady on the street corner with a skateboard?
Was that around the time when people were going around just knocking people out for no reason?
No, this was just a few weeks ago. This was a big thing that was circulating, and black women were upset. They were like, see, black men are shit, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you're talking about a fuck up who hit a black woman. Yeah, it's fucked up, but what does that have to do with Black Lives Matter? Like, and people start complaining. I'm like, that man who hit somebody with a fucking skateboard, he's not out protesting. He doesn't give a shit.
Both y'all made sense, and y'all got me on this one. So Sean coming out talking about how, looking at the beauty of the situation, like, that's dope. I didn't even look at it like that. But it's kind of, like I said, it gives you hope for humanity. And makes you understand, like you, Sean, it's not a black or white thing. It's just good people versus bad people. And that's basically the same thing that Adrian is saying. Like, this dude was a fucking moron, idiot, bad guy. And this kid didn't deserve what happened to him. And I do feel bad for that kid. I'm glad that guy had a weak-ass punch. Because that shit could have went a whole different way. No, I mean, shit. Let me run up 15 feet on you and shit with a little step to it and swing on you. I guarantee you're not getting up with the 12-year-old bone structure. Shit.
Yeah.
Not trying to highlight like that's a good thing, but I'm just saying I'm glad that he didn't have one of those
could have been way worse. Right.
And I'm glad the kid is okay. From what I know. How's the segment, Sean? How'd you feel? How'd you like it? How'd you feel?
I like it, man. I like it. Next time, you just gonna have me go off the flight, or I get to do homework next time?
He does that shit to me too, man.
Yeah, we don't do homework.
He literally shows me this shit when I get here.
It depends. If it gets to opinionated things, it's just going to be off the fly. But when we get to like the real serious conversations and topics, we have a presidential election coming up, so of course we're going to go into that. And we're going to sit here and try to make each other understand each other's views. I'll
be real honest. I'm disappointed. He had me hyped thinking I was going to be able to get into an argument, and you seem level-headed. So I'm highly disappointed. He had me amped up.
He'll get you there. But like you said, he's kind of toned down a little bit. Hopefully he can turn his ass back up and make this shit, one of those type conversations. But again, Sean, man, thank you for joining the show. The Socially Irresponsible Podcast. We thank you.
Yeah, nope. Hey, and next time I'll turn it up. I'll make sure I get a full glass of white privileges before I sit down, and I won't be worried about what I say. Fuck it.
Fuck it, right? Everybody who's listening, I want y'all to thank Sean. Also, Beer TV. Sean, if you can, put something in the comments and let them know where it's at. It's what y'all have 4,000 or 5,000 members after 2 months, or how? I know it's 3,000 a couple of weeks ago. Where y'all at right now?
Yeah, we're up to 7,000. I think 7,300. We're averaging about 1,000 a week. It's blowing up, man. Y'all hop on, check it out. Everybody's welcome there. We try to keep it fun, keep it real, man.
Yeah, everyone's adding their friends, so you can actually go and request your friends to jump onto the page. I have friends that I never thought would be in the circle of Mikey, and Mikey's a motherfucker, and Sean, and they're part of the group. Like some people I never thought would, associate with that circle. Not that your circle sucks, but you don't know these motherfuckers. And they're like in different. No, they're like different states, and like my friends are part of that group. And like, you're fucking in Missouri. Like, what the fuck? But it's a group. It's a cool page. They have a lot of swag. So if y'all need some really cool stickers, koozies, beer openers, they do a bunch of fun shit. They're gonna be the next Dude Perfect. I told Mikey that y'all could be the next Dude fucking Perfect if y'all wanted to. And then of course, Whataburger. They're fucking harassing Whataburger like often, and they're trying to get into Whataburger and do some things with Whataburger. So if that takes off, I think that'd be dope. Everyone listening, please support not only the Socially Irresponsible Podcast, but go and support Beer TV. Sean, thank you for calling. Also, throw something in the comments so people could find you. Okay.
Definitely, man. I'll throw our website out there, beertv.party, and the Facebook page. Y'all check it out, man.
All right, man. You be good, man.
All right, Damien. Good talking to you, Adrian. I'll catch you next time.
Likewise. Take it easy.
All right, bye.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one.
You too. That went well.
It was all we are the world and shit, man. I was ready for a fucking argument.
Nah, he's it'll get more political when it comes. Like first day we're easy on him. These are like open case, like that's wrong and that's right and that's wrong. It was pretty easy today. All right. We'll get him on the real topics. We'll probably get him into the news sections and things like that. But now we have some relationship stuff to discuss. Now, when it comes to relationships, I think I'm okay at it. I know a lot about them, I feel. I just don't know how to successfully navigate through one.
I give really good advice at how to fuck up a relationship.
Okay. So we're gonna mute Adrian's mic, but we have some really good topics.
No, I can tell you all the things not to do. So
if Adrian gives you advice, just remember to do everything he says. Do the opposite of what he says.
Exactly. Yeah, I know how to not do things.
Let's see if Ash is gonna answer. She was doing some homework. She has actually a pretty decent question for us.
Hello.
Gateway.
Hey.
On the phone we have Miss Ashley. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm doing good. I was gonna say your first, middle, last name, and everything. We have Adrian.
Wow. Go ahead and put my social out there too. Dang.
I will. I'll do all that shit. We have Ashley on the phone. Ashley, over here is just me and Adrian today. How is your evening?
Good.
So.
Been watching.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. What do you have for us? Make it good. Make it hot. What do you got?
Okay, so I mean, it's not so much relationships today though, like I would normally do. This virus has really been messing with my friends and their dating game. But I do have a friend, and she has been babysitting for her friend. Okay, so just to give you some background on her friend is in the military.
Okay.
He has a son, and the son's mother is also military. So this is the first time that he actually has his son because the mom was deployed. Okay. So she's been babysitting for him, and
hold on, the mom was babysitting for the dad?
No. My friend is babysitting for her friend. Okay. So my question is for my friend. She wants to know, is it okay for her to discipline the child, and to what extent?
Beat the shit out of me if you need to. Kick him in his fucking throat.
Okay, wait. So hold on. Let me Let me give you guys some background here. The little boy, she has the little boy actually more than what the dad does. So the dad actually will wake up, get him dressed, take him to daycare, and then by the time he gets home from work, she's already put him to bed. So he doesn't really actually spend time with him. It's actually my friend that spends time with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So Ashley, so when I guess throughout the week, I guess I'm pretty sure adults have days off. Is the parent, dad?
Okay, so even on the dad's days off, he still drops the kid off to my friend because he needs, I don't know, I guess like alone time. He tells her that he's gonna go to the gym, but she'll have him for like a full day still. Oh. And we know nobody's at the gym for a full day.
So she's a nanny.
So, yes, okay. But the thing is that recently the little boy has been kind of acting out a little bit more. So he started like trying to hit her. Like if she corrects anything, he'll throw stuff at her or hit her when she's putting him into the car seat. He'll try kicking her and things of that nature.
The white boy.
And so,
how old is he?
He's 4. He's a 4-year-old. And so she has talked to the dad and told the dad, like, hey, he's been doing this. And the dad, he's asleep by the time the dad gets home. So the dad says that he'll talk to him, but it hasn't really improved. Yeah. And so the kicker is that the little boy was kicked out of daycare for hitting the teachers repeatedly and nothing being done about it. And so she spoke to the dad and asked.
Okay. Badass kid, nanny, parent that doesn't want to do parenting shit.
Well, it's because the mom doesn't agree with certain types of discipline. So the mom believes only in timeout. But the daycare has tried timeout. My friend has tried timeout. Timeout does not work with the kid.
So my thing would, initially be, if he's already been kicked out of a daycare, this is a child who needs some extra attention. And if she's not qualified, if she's just a standard quote unquote babysitter, if she doesn't have like a degree in like child development, or if she doesn't have those types of social skills to handle this, she might just have to say, okay, I need you to find somebody else because I can't spank your child, and timeouts don't work, and he's, just becoming more and more of a problem. So the same way he was kicked out of the daycare, she might have to just leave the job.
That's actually good advice. I mean, when it comes to disciplining the kids, I guess what you were talking about earlier, I totally believe in fucking up somebody else's kids, like thoroughly. Like, and I tell people, when I watch people's kids, like, if your kid fucks up in my presence, I'm going to take care of it. And if you don't like that, I'm not watching your kid. Simple as that. Like, that's kind of what it is. Go find another babysitter. It's your choice. But I know your kid is not going to run around my fucking house disrespectful and have me stressed out. And I didn't fuck.
But I mean, are you the exception?
What do you mean, am I the exception?
Is that the exception? Because I know a lot of people that would not want somebody else to discipline their child.
I don't know what I am. I just know how I would handle this situation. Like, I don't know what part of the.
So Adrian would just quit.
I didn't say quit, but you have to like your friend. What is like? Is this her full time? Like, again, like, has she gone for like child psychology? Like, what does she do? Like, what is she qualified for? Or is this just I wanted a babysitting
She is
gig?
qualified. So no, she is qualified to work with kids. She has a degree in child development.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. I mean, right?
So yeah, but I mean, a degree is still different than like hands-on. Because I mean, you could have a degree. You could have a degree in child development and be a teacher, and I mean, you still can't go hit somebody's kid.
No, I understand that, but that my point is, if you know the different types of methods and how to handle a kid like this, then you need to be employing them. And if you have already talked to the father and it's not successful, and you said now the mother is back because she was deployed, then if the mother disagrees with certain types of disciplines, all three of them are going to have a conversation. And if they can't come to a solution on how the child will be disciplined, and if the child continues to act out and nothing's helping, then yeah, I think at some point you just have to remove yourself. The same way the daycare eventually said, you got to go. We've tried shit and it's not working. You know, so that's just kind of a reality.
That's actually good ass fucking advice. So would you, okay, so people listening, just question, how do you feel about somebody disciplining your children?
I've got some comments.
What do you got?
Jerry Barnes says you're not an exception and that she has disciplined other people's kids.
Good job, Jerry. Beat the shit out of him.
Toya agrees. If she can't discipline your kid, she's not watching them.
Yeah. Man, I mean, how do you feel, Adrian? Would you? So, two questions, and everyone listening. Here's a question for Adrian, yourself, and Miss Ash. You can answer this. How do you feel about disciplining other people's kids? I'll start with you, Adrian.
I don't believe in those in physical punishments either. It's
not your thing.
Not my thing. I think that it can cause trauma. I think that even the notion of us.
You must have got your ass whooped a lot when you were younger.
No, I did, but I've also read a lot of books on how it stems from. This is like after trauma from slavery, when we would get whipped for not, acting according with that situation. So to bring that into how we interact with children, I think is very traumatic and damaging. Okay. So no, I don't believe in that for that reason, as well as others. So again, it's a matter of when children act out, there's often something. So like I would ask, honestly, did this behavior start when the mother came back from deployment? Because that could be a symptom of this kid feeling like there's this
of like separation anxiety.
Right, because
he's now the kid first before I asked.
Because he's now being with his mother and this nanny who's been like a mother to him. Because if the father is spending that little time with him, then now this boy feels like he's got two mothers and he doesn't know who to show loyalty to, and so he could be going through all different types of conflicts. And if they're not exploring that, then again, just whipping him, just spanking him, or putting him in timeouts, or whatever the hell you're doing, isn't going to get to the root of what's actually going on in this kid's head.
That's actually good. That's actually really good. I never thought of that either. I would have whooped his ass still. Brandon, what is your thought? Would you? I mean, how do you feel about whooping other people's kids or disciplining other people's children? Now, when I say whooping, mind you, I'm not talking about just going on knocking the shit out of the kids because they didn't say yes sir, no sir. I mean like actual discipline when someone acts up. Extreme. How do you feel about that, Brianna?
So, I can say that I've done it.
I know.
It's not something that I want to do, and it has to be an extreme for me to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not something I like to do by all means, but I do feel like there has to be that conversation that you have to have with a parent first.
Oh, definitely. If it's gonna go there, and if you feel comfortable doing that, yeah.
I have no problem whooping somebody else's child, and I'll let the parents know. But I let them know, like you said, I'm gonna simply say, like, this is what it is. If something happens, I'm gonna handle it. But the reason why is because when disciplining is a form of punishment, so to speak, right? So if you don't whoop a child, if you're going to slap them on the hand, that's what I mean, something as simple as slapping on the hand, a little tap on the butt, whatever. If you don't do that when they do the thing that they do, they'll never understand why they're getting whooped for. So if you have, I'm going to tell your parent, 8 hours later they come home, and then they try to discipline the child or whoop them at this time for something they did 10 hours earlier, they have no fucking idea what they're getting in trouble for. Or if you ground them or punish them, they really don't get it. So it's one of those things to where, I say that because I have two children. Not saying that I'm the only one in the room with children, but it worked for me. But I wasn't overly abusive with whooping, with discipline. So it's a fine line, of course. I think it is, but I think whooping children is a part of raising them. Now, not beating the shit out of them, but it's just a part of discipline. It's something that shouldn't be used all the time. But if this child is hitting you, there's no reason why you shouldn't uppercut them. I don't understand why you haven't uppercut them yet.
But is a 4-year-old really hurting you if they're hitting you? I mean, it's annoying, but let's be honest. It's not hurting.
It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson.
Irritating.
It's a lesson learned. It's not about. It's principalities in this smoking. So.
Adrian, do you have kids?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You don't believe in the corporal punch? I mean, not corporal punishment. You don't believe in just
no, I didn't.
Physical
grown
abuse.
now, but I didn't.
Okay.
Right.
Anyone? What do they say on there? Do they believe? I know Jerry says should beat the shit, kick and trip a kid down the stairs. That's what Jerry said.
Toya agrees with Adrian. Andrea Simmons says that she doesn't agree with them either.
With what?
I guess whooping a kid, someone else's kid.
Okay. Andrea, do y'all whoop y'all's own kids? I guess another question: if you don't believe in whooping other people's kids, would you beat the shit out of your own? I mean, spank your own child?
Sean Pennington says that
I know Sean whoops his kids.
he says he expects his friends to hold his kids accountable.
And that's kind of where I'm at. If you're gonna act up in my house, I'm gonna handle you as if you're my own child, and that's just because I'm gonna take responsibility. I've whooped Ashley's kids before. Go ahead.
Marie Ashley says that I fuck kids up. I don't fuck kids up. I'll flick a kid in the mouth real quick.
I'll thump the shit out of your kid in the back of their forehead, like motherfucker. So I guess
basically, I should tell my friend to take the kid to Bree, and she'll take care of it.
You should tell your friend to fucking quit.
I'll tell you right now, I'm mean when it comes to stuff, and a lot of kids, and you can ask a couple of my cousins that they don't really like me when they were little. My little cousin Jasmine will tell you I was mean. I would flick a kid in the mouth real quick and have no problem with it. I mean, I'll still love on you, but you do something wrong, I feel like you need to know that you did something wrong.
I think, I mean, advice for your friend. I mean, I think Adrian kind of said you need to sit down with the parents and determine a course of action for discipline that will actually be effective and work. And if you can come up with something that works and a good solution, then by all means, continue your employment there and have your friend do that. But if it comes to something to where it doesn't sound effective, since your friend does have education in this field, and it doesn't sound like it makes sense, then by all means, motherfucker, you got to find somebody else. And I guess that's the best way to do it. But, it's summertime, and your friend's time is your friend's time. And this is not the time to be wasting it. Hopefully she's getting paid a pretty penny for doing what they're doing. And if not, shit, money talks, bullshit walks at this point.
And then she just has to decide, can I handle getting my ass whooped by a 4-year-old every day?
Does this financial benefit make sense?
Is it worth these little tiny paws?
Yeah, and then, but that is good advice. A conversation between all three of them, and then just figure out kind of what it is, we come up with as a family, as a group, because basically y'all are actually family right at this point. That makes sense for everyone. Simple as that. Tell your friend to call in if they want to, and we can toughen them up.
I was expecting the relationship, man. You disappoint me. You 0 for 2 tonight, man.
Yeah, let her know.
0 for 2. No argument. Now no relationship talk.
We got some other relationship questions.
Hey, I'm sorry. The COVID has really been messing my friends, y'all.
Well, stay your ass inside, and you and your friends stay safe. Ashley, once again, thank you. We're gonna get some more relationship. Adrian wants to fuck up somebody's. Adrian over here being nice, taking care of the kids.
I'm trying to
but fucking up everybody's relationship up.
I'm trying to get my Jada Pinkett on. What the fuck?
All right, Ash, finish your homework. Thank you for calling in or accepting my call.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Fuck that. Y'all gotta fuck up them goddamn kids. Man, discipline is big to me, man. And I will tell you one thing. There are, several ways to get to the prize. Like, whooping your child is not always the answer. It's not. But it's always not the answer. I mean, don't beat your kids. You know what's too much. We're not stupid. We know what the fuck is too much when disciplining our children. We know what what kind of kids we have, what kids we're dealing with, and we know what kind of kids we can stand. I can't stand a kid punching me. I don't give a fuck how old you is. But if you're hitting me and doing a bunch of different things that are like actually trying to hit me, and I'm trying to pick you up and you're swinging on me.
Let's have a question.
Yeah.
I had a friend who watched their friends' kids, and a little boy spit in her face.
Yeah, kick him in his nuts, baby nuts.
What would you do?
How old are we talking?
Under 10.
So
he knows better.
He does know better. And is this a friend or this is a job? What are we talking? Because it's handled differently, I think. No,
it's a friend.
So at the home, no cameras, no daycare, no employment.
No. Just, hey, I've got to go do something. My babysitter fell through. Can you watch my kids, kind of a thing?
Well, from that point on until they get back, he's going to be sitting in that bathroom. Like, there's no TV, he's going to be in a bathroom.
Take a shit, boy.
You sitting in the bathroom. It's like your little solitary confinement. Obviously, me and the friend are going to have a talk because that shit's unacceptable.
Agreed.
Like, that, but still not hitting a kid. Now, that's why I asked how old.
I'd like
13, 14.
You go to blows?
Punch him in his chest real quick.
That shit's gonna be different. I
one
think.
get a whammy in the chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe the spit and be like, "Oh, you're a man, huh? Well, let's go outside. Let's
Let's talk."
Yeah, we're gonna talk, and he gonna feel the fear of about. He probably might not knock his ass out, but he gonna get the fear like he was going to, and no, this is not something you do. Not even close to acceptable. But just again, because I'm like, the fuck is a 13-year-old really gonna do to me? At the end of the day, the spit's disrespectful. But I'm not gonna whoop his ass.
I'm fighting. I'm fighting. Fuck that. There's just things that just you're not gonna do to me, and it's not. It's just things that I expect as an adult, and not saying that you're wrong at all. I'm not saying you don't expect the same respect that I expect. It's just my tolerance for bullshit is especially from kids is different. What you got?
Ree says she'll smack the fuck out of him.
Nah, yeah, Marie. Don't let Marie watch your kids, guys. If you have any kids and you need,
I would also expect not to have a kid that's that disrespectful.
And see, and that's actually a whole nother conversation. Like, why is this child should never be at this point when someone else is watching.
That's why I asked. Like, honestly, just hearing that, if the mother's been gone, and this nanny is the person they've been interacting with as far as a woman in their life, then for the mother to suddenly reappear, I think that kid's probably dealing with some conflict.
And not just that, the dad is never around.
The dad's never around.
You can imagine how the dad was not around. Dad's not around because they have a nanny, but you can imagine how much he wasn't around still when there was no nanny. Like, no one's raising this kid, no one is teaching this kid.
That's why I'd be curious to know what's going on with that whole situation.
Yeah, well, because of those parents, that kid would get his ass whooped fucking with me. Now, we also have some other questions. Now, we had a really good one, and this is something that I've noticed just through my 38 years of living. And it was about maintaining relationships, all right? And now it's not necessarily about maintaining relationships, and we're going to touch base on this again when KK comes back. KK, of course, he's in Dallas for work, and Didi has some things to do this weekend. Maintaining bad relationships, like people that are actually married and just don't want to be married, but yet they're still married. Why in the fuck are people doing this? Why are we dating? There's this one girl I used to fuck with, right? She had a whole boyfriend, fucking hated, can't stand his ass. And she was fucking with me, right? And she would, on Facebook, social media, you would think they had the greatest fucking relationship in the world. Truth be told, he was beating the fuck out of her often, and she couldn't stand his ass. Why are we, as a whole, and if you're listening, I want a lot of fucking comments on this. If you want to call in, tell Bree, and we'll call you. Why are we maintaining these bullshit ass relationships in 2020? I have a close person who lives here who's had kids and hasn't slept in the same bed with his wife or fucked his wife in like 6 years. And they just live together. And the people are like, if it wasn't for these kids, I'd be gone. I mean
you kind of nailed it. That's a big reason people stay together. Kids, financial stability. Sometimes they forget who they are as a person. So if they've tried to go out dating, they don't even remember who the fuck they are. They've been a part of that situation for so long that they don't know themselves well enough to let somebody else get to know them, because all they know is that life that they've been living.
Man, I'm just saying, like, I'm single, and nothing against my child's mother, or nothing I'll tell y'all. But I mean, if I'm not happy, I'm not happy. If I don't want to be in a situation, if I don't feel like it's going to work and benefit me, like, I'm going to be a way worse person if I stay than if I leave. I'm going to be the worst version that I can think of there. And I don't want to live a life where I lose myself just because my kids. Because if I lose myself, my kids aren't going to get the best that they can get from me. Mm-hmm. And I see this a lot. Like, why are we in these bullshit? Why are people still think it's okay to be in these bullshit relationships?
I have a couple of comments.
What do you have?
Andrea Simmons says mental illness. Rita says it's all bullshit reasons to her. Jerry Barnes says people stay in bullshit relationships because being together is beneficial in other ways.
That's a lot of women I see get married for financial stability and stuff like that, which is fucked up. It's like prostitution, but whatever.
It is what it is. I mean, yeah.
If anyone out there is still married because your husband has great money, good job, and takes care of the family, I'm not calling you prostitutes.
Thing when they do. And like you said, the dude who doesn't fuck his wife in 6 years, I'm like, so you have a prostitute on retention that you don't even utilize that shit.
She's a holding the pussy. Yeah. You're paying for it, and she just has
like
it on.
having a lawyer, a high-paid lawyer on retainer that you haven't been sued in 20 years. Like,
I would cheat. I would cheat. 6 years.
Will and Jada the shit.
Yeah,
so an open relationship.
Fuck Will and Jada. I'm out there on fucking Hollywood Boulevard, Eddie Murphy in this shit. Like that was transvestite reference.
That's why my eyes.
Yeah, you got that. You caught that one.
Okay.
I'm Hollywood Boulevard. God damn it. But yeah, man, I want to dwell in that, and again, like I said, KK was gonna call in, and KK is gonna hopefully speak on this. And we're gonna have a conversation about it. And I don't know what he's gonna say, but KK is gonna open up. He's gonna be very personal. He's gonna open up and tell us what's going on. And
he's in a bullshit relationship.
I don't
know. Or was?
I don't know. I think he is really. I don't know. I don't want to speak on it because I don't know.
I've been in some, and but I'm not gonna speak on them.
Well, so you've been in relationships where you're together with someone for no fucking reason. Y'all were just together, and
I was for a while, but at some point I had to just leave it because I wasn't happy. I was like, I'm wanting to cheat. I'm wanting to I can't do this shit. So I had to leave the relationship.
So the time you're in that relationship, why were you still in it?
I think initially you think you can get back to the way things were.
So it used to be good, got bullshit.
And at some point when it's bullshit, you think, okay, well maybe we can get it back to when it was good. There were times where, like she said, there were other reasons, like they were a good friend or, the sex was good or something like that. So there were different reasons that you stuck around and hoped it would get better, but you realize this is just what it is at this point. It's beyond repair.
Yeah, I would, like I said, I've been in one and I just couldn't do it, man. Like I can't maintain bullshit. I kind of know what I want, and I'm a hard person to deal with. So I can't always put it on other people because I know what they're dealing with. But if I'm not happy, man, like I'm a Gemini, man, my attention span is short.
The answer to your question, you said why. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they're codependent. They don't know how to either be alone or they've created that dependency on the other person for a handful of those reasons that people, were talking about.
You ever fucked a married woman? Do you listen to some of the depressing stories that they sit here and tell
often?
You? And I'm thinking, God damn, like
I provide a public service for the married women.
Simple, right?
Yeah, like it's sad to hear that shit. I'm like,
why? And I went through a time in my life where I was fucking females in relationships and married, and if guys were better people, I would have been jacking off often.
Yeah. But this is why I said men are shit.
Guys were fucking up so much, and I was benefiting on it. So I'm not gonna praise myself, but it's like, God, like I don't know, man. Like, and there's some things I've done that I've not been proud of when it comes to fucking with someone in a relationship or married. Like some shit I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? I was young, but man, like anyone that's listening to this that's in a bad relationship, motherfucker, you know you're in a bad relationship. And you know that this nigga here is talking to you. Just get out. Just get out. Figure it out. Just figure out an exit plan and just move the fuck on, because there is more out there for you. There's something out there for you. And if not someone else out there for you, there is you out there for you, so you can go find yourself and figure it out.
Have you ever been in a shitty job?
I've quit bad jobs though.
A lot of people don't quit their bad jobs because, again, fear of change. Again, it disrupts their financial stability. Like, there's so many reasons people will just stay to what they know. It's simple.
I get it.
Like, that's I think that's the short answer.
Yeah, no, I get it.
A lot of people agree with you with codependent. That's the word.
If one more motherfucker agrees with Adrian on this goddamn show.
Hold on real quick. So Devin Hemphill says, some people hold on to hoping one day this dumb motherfucker gonna get it right. Sometimes the light bulb clicks and sometimes it's a waste of time. Jerry says it's not always financial. And Maria says relationships go through ups and downs. When it's down, some people stay because they hope that it'll go back up. A lot of times it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but there's a ton of reasons people just stick it out. One of the worst is being afraid of being alone.
Someone again agreeing with Adrian.
It's this weird repeating cycle that just keeps happening.
No, I mean it makes sense. I know, man. Yeah, it just sucks, man. I wish, and I guess again, these are another issues in conversations that there is no answer to. But if we can start a service, we need to go into these broken homes and just
fuck people's wives.
Whoa!
Fuck your wife, bone dick style. We're gonna Tyrone your
sometimes
wife.
Sometimes people, I joke, but sometimes I've helped marriages. I treat those women so badly that they realize they had a good dude at home.
That's why niggas ain't. That's why you think niggas ain't shit. You know what you was doing.
That's exactly why.
This isn't part of niggas. This is a service. This is a service. I'm making you appreciate your husband.
Or sometimes you fill the void or the space that he's not filling for a time being,
and then he fills it back, and then
once he's back to normal, all right, there you go, you little. Fly off, little dove.
Yeah.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
A proud parent. I helped. No, I mean, but like I said, man, just get out of these situations. And I mean, there's not just like bad relationships. There's people that are maintaining abusive relationships.
That's the scary part.
Yeah. And not just to where I don't love you anymore, but I'm getting my ass handed to me regularly. Man, just get out of those relationships.
But that's usually one that there's a whole different situation behind that. You know, people talk about things like Stockholm syndrome, and you know, a battered wife tends to have an extremely low self-esteem, and if she didn't already have it going into that relationship, she will develop it.
Fucked it up at that point.
And right, so like to an extent, what Andrea said that you know, a mental illness, it is a combination of different, you know, mental situations that are going on, whether it's a combination of the low self-esteem, the codependency, and all these different things that start interacting, and it creates a mentality that doesn't know how to escape that cycle. They're not strong enough at some point. So
how do you feel about mental illness? On like some, and this is, how do you honestly, how much of mental illness would you think is a mental weakness, if that makes sense?
I think that's a problem, is that we do describe it as mental weaknesses too often. That's the stigma, and that's why people don't seek help.
Okay.
You know, I remember when Meta World Peace came out, and he tried to, you know, say that, you know, in the black community this is a problem, and he was right.
100% right. Yeah.
We don't tend to look at them as what they are. We do definitely view it as a weakness, you know.
But how much of it do you think is a weakness? Like
I don't think any of it's weakness. I think
all.
No, I think, like, let's be real. We're humans. We have emotions. We deal with shit, and the problem is trying to maintain the perception of strength. It's not weak to be human. It's not weak to have emotions. That's reality. That's people. But because we don't know how to acknowledge it and see it that way, and we're afraid of how everyone else is going to see it, we avoid acknowledging, I'm not weak, I need some help.
So Maria says, I maintained an abusive relationship because I felt bad for him and I wanted to help him.
So you're a fixer.
Yeah.
I left when I realized he wouldn't help himself, and I loved myself too much to show him to slowly kill me.
See, and there's been, and I know that situation. Maria?
She says it's the best decision she ever made.
Maria?
I'm glad you got out of that.
I know that situation, and I was pissed off at her for that.
Well, because there was a period of time
that she got out of it.
There was a period of time, clearly, she had doubts about who she was, and that's why she was trying to fix him. Because if you can fix somebody, it gives you value.
It gives you hope.
Right.
It's hope for me.
Right. It says something about you. I was able to fix this person, so clearly X, Y, or Z must be good about me.
Yeah.
I helped them. And that's the kind of the reverse can happen. If you can't fix a person, you keep feeling worse about yourself because you're like, why can't I fix this person? What's not good enough about me?
You're not validating your self-worth.
Why don't I have enough worth to fix this person? Instead of realizing it ain't about you. That person's just fucked up sometimes.
No, that makes sense actually. So I was in a situation this past weekend, actually, come to think, but this past Sunday. So my daughter, she turned 28. She turned 10 on the 28th. And she had a birthday party. I had the best I can do because of COVID shit. So all her friends in the neighborhood, I invited them over. Ordered pizza. I went to HB, got a cake and baked the cake myself and icing and shit. So I did what I was supposed to do as a father, right? The mom, I even invited their mom over to come hang out with us, and we're not together, and we have our shitty relationship. But our kids want to see mommy and daddy together. So hey, come by, hang out. And that's what it was. When their mom came here, they're all like hanging out with their mom and shit like that while the party was still going on, right? And after the party's like 4 friends over here. And I was like, hey, babe, y'all have to, your friends over here for your birthday, entertain your guest. Don't leave him here with me so I got to play with them and keep them entertained. Like, entertain your guests. I'm trying to cook and do all this other stuff. Oh, my bad, Dad. So then they will go back and entertain their guests. Anyway, long story short, that kept on happening. Finally, we ate the cake, ice cream, happy birthday. I bought this $20 candle for them and shit. And then they left without a thank you in the world. Without a thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. Their mom was even like, hey, make sure you tell your dad thank you for everything he did, blase, blase. I hated that. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it for recognition, right? I'm doing it because I love my children. But, it would be nice for someone to acknowledge that. Like when you're with the female, hey, babe, nice haircut. You know what? That dress is bad on you. You got a promotion? Good job. You killed that job. Love you. You know what I mean? That's the shit that validates and gives you that reassurance. Mm-hmm. We like that too as men. I made a comment about that on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, oh, you think you need validation for the fuck you do? You're a dad. You're supposed to do that. You want kudos for being a dad? You know what? You think you deserve more than a mom? You don't give birth to kids. Like, that's the responses I've gotten.
And I get it. But I will say this. For what I know women typically do in their day-to-days taking care of a household, for them, so much of that shit is thankless. That's why they're going to see it that way.
But the crazy thing about it, though, not to cut you off, but totally cut you off. That's not the point I'm trying. No, that's not the point I'm trying to prove. The point I'm saying is that when we have to express our feelings about something, that's the shit that we get in return.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. What I mean? Yeah, absolutely. No, men, and this is what I was talking about earlier, is that our society as a whole definitely likes to disregard men having emotions. And this is what develops our toxic masculinity that they always talk about. Yeah. Because I remember it was Joe Budden, and the shit made me laugh, but I was like, it's weird. Somebody said, fuck you, something about you always emotional like a woman or something. He was like, yeah, I'm emotional. I'm like, fucking human. And it was the way he said it. It was just, it was like, yeah, like we have this weird expectation that men don't have emotions like everybody else. Yeah. And I agree with you. It's one of those things, and that leads to what we're talking about as far as mental illnesses or whatever being seen as weaknesses instead of understanding. No, everyone takes the things that happen to them and reacts to them a different way. Yeah. And reacting to them in a negative way or having an emotional reaction to it doesn't mean it's a weakness, doesn't mean it's negative. It's just we're all going to react different, right? Yeah. It's normal. Some learn how to deal with it better than others. Some don't. Some need a bigger support system than others. Some don't. But whenever you stigmatize that and make people feel like it's weakness, that's when they end up bottling it up, and then you see it come out in more negative ways.
Yeah. So women out there, when your man or somebody comes and express to you or to anybody about their feelings about a situation, just listen. Like, just listen to what they're saying, and don't listen to defend the situation, like why he shouldn't feel how he should feel. Because, when fucking Victoria is at work, always late and doing all this other shit and never has her pen and paper and always takes your pens at your desk, we listen to that bullshit. And we're like, what? Victoria, that motherfucker again out there tripping? Like, do that same shit to us. Because we need that also. I'm very emotional in a sense because I wear my feelings on my sleeve. So I'm gonna react to every fucking thing. Like my stimulus shit works. You know, I'm gonna react to everything, as most men should. As we've discussed, that's our issue, that we don't react to stuff.
Yeah.
But when we do, again, reiterate, when we do, please listen to us. And then if you don't complain about us not coming to you about shit. And
right.
That, you know,
that's that weird shit that women do sometimes, where they're like, "Oh, I just want a man who's X, Y, and Z, and he's sensitive and understanding." And then you fuck around and you're like, "Why are you being so fucking sensitive?" What the fuck? Yeah, so you know they'll do that shit to
I
you.
want a man that can make me feel good, that will hold me, and that will tell me he loves me, and then choke the shit out of me at the same time. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, what are you asking for?
Everything.
I can't do them both. I can't cuddle, caress you, and punch you in the stomach at the same time. I don't know.
That's exactly what they want sometimes. It's crazy.
There was this Facebook post where this girl's always talking about how sweet and nice she is. She can't find a good man, and then she had and this is a normal conversation with a woman. And then her next post was like, "I want a man to spit in my mouth." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, she literally said she wants a man to spit in him. Like, that's a thing she likes. The guy that's going to treat you good is not going to spit in your mouth. Like, he doesn't
necessarily. If she asks for it, no. See, this I will say. Look, there
have
can
you
be
spit in some female's mouth before?
Look, I've done a lot of nasty shit. Okay? like this is a conversation I've had with women, because they don't, you know, whatever lames they deal with, they don't understand. I'm like, look, I'm gonna come. That's the easy part.
Regardless, we talked about that.
Yeah,
shit.
we was talking about. Yeah, that's the easy part.
No.
My goal here, pleasing you. If that's the weird shit you're into, fuck it, let's try it.
You want to brush my teeth before I do this, or can I just go all out right now, raw?
I do have limits though. There's some shit I'm just like, yeah, this ain't gonna work then, because I do have to draw the line somewhere. Like, sometimes I'm just like,
this is just weird.
Yeah.
That should be another good topic we could have. What are your fucking fetishes? What they say?
Next week we can talk about fetishes.
Yeah.
Okay, Maria. Society norms are that men don't have emotions, which drives men, some, to have mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a mental health stigma, especially for men, even more so for minority men. So seeking help is considered weak, and y'all expect to man up. You guys are damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah,
and that's
I hate
truth.
that comment, man up. That's the
truth.
Fuck do you mean, man up?
Yeah. Like I said,
be emotionally callous is what that's really translating to.
Just fucking take it and just fucking be great also.
Yeah.
Jerry Barnes says it's a catch-22. When we try to draw emotions out of men, they resist hard. But then men get pissed, and when we aren't open to hear their feelings.
So if y'all women know this, and of course this is just 2 comments, but if y'all know this, why do y'all act as shitty as y'all do to us? Not saying you specifically, but I'm pretty sure y'all too specifically have done this. If y'all know this shit, like, why do y'all give us such a fucking hard time? Like, why? Can y'all cut that shit out, please? Don't answer. Just fucking stop doing it, okay? And then, you know, we'll do better and spit in your mouth and choking you and big spooning you at the same time.
Hold on, there's more.
Oh, shit.
Ashley Nicole says, you mean women give mixed signals? Never. I mean, we don't do that, right?
Right.
We don't do that.
Never at all.
Last comment. Zelia. Maybe it's the way it comes across when a man tells you how he feels about something.
I'd like her
That's
to explain that
vague.
further. Like,
That's
what do you mean how
vague.
he comes across? Like,
no tact, or like, is he?
I don't understand that, honestly.
That's
because
vague.
is he supposed to talk to you like he's a robot when he's expressing an emotion? Or, you know, that's the thing. If he, you know, hell, let's say he does the forbidden thing and he cries in front of you while he's explaining his emotions. Again, it's weird that we make that
We have to do
not
that
acceptable
extreme.
for men. Yeah,
we have to
like,
go that extreme just to be judged one way or another.
right.
And I just have to be clear, because the other women are saying it as well, and I was letting y'all talk. But y'all give us a hard time.
About?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, now listen, mind you, all men aren't created equal.
Agreed.
Just like all women aren't created equal.
Yeah,
So
but
we're not
we
saying
give
this
y'all
is
a hard time as what?
yeah, like what? I mean, I know I could be an asshole at times. I know that, and I joke around, and I can be very difficult to be around sometimes. So I mean, I know my hard time. I know where my whatever is. But what are y'all talking about specifically? Like y'all women are very vague.
Yeah,
I need you to explain.
That's a vague ass comment. Y'all give us a hard time.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, y'all give us a hard time. It's a fucking give and take. That's what relationships do. We're gonna annoy each other, piss each other off, and pull each other's legs. But I mean, Like, I mean,
you said you agreed with them that you didn't want to cut us off. So, Bree, what do you mean when you say we give y'all a hard time?
What is a hard time to you?
While they type in.
So, here's my thing, and I'm a little different. I'm not like the normal female, but what I see in people that I've dealt with that I don't deal with,
disclaimer.
Yeah, they're like the woman. They're the ones that are very.
Why do y'all say that? That's the issue. That's what we're.
Let me finish.
Sorry, let her finish.
They're the ones that are very sensitive, very indecisive, never know what they want to do, and they're the touchy-feely, cuddly, wondering why I don't call them 20 times a day, and why we can't cuddle forever and ever and ever.
Okay. So that's an issue?
Hold on.
Okay.
That's an issue for me.
Okay.
For me, it's an issue.
And you know what the funny thing is? Because are you that type of woman? Do you do any of those things? You're not, are you?
No.
And so here, I'll tell you, because this actually happened to me a long time ago. When a woman is not that type of woman, because I was never that type of guy, I found myself becoming that. Because what happens is, when she wasn't, I needed it. Yeah, because I'm used to women who act like that. So I ended up doing it unconsciously, because what happens is that dynamic usually has to come out somewhere. And if she's not doing it, I end up doing it. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't understand. And the funny thing is, it's weird that y'all women will say you want all these things, but the minute a man is acting more emotional, sensitive, then again, that's a turnoff, because to y'all have associated that with feminine behavior. It's not necessarily feminine behavior. That's just loving behavior.
Yeah, what if a nigga just loves you?
And so what happens is, if you are exhibiting more of the masculine behavior and the masculine social norms, it ends up creating the imbalance. And so a man might start acting like that. He might not normally be like that, but that energy ends up having to balance itself off somewhere, and he'll be the one to show it. And if so, then it's a turn off to you, because you're like, I don't like that.
I don't, and I'm an asshole, but I'm very verbal, and I will tell you what I do and do not like.
But do you notice what he's saying?
I do. I completely
but do you see it in yourself, though?
I still don't do those things.
Right, so, but do you think if you ever softened up and did those things,
he would
the man might be able to be himself more?
As I'm getting older, right, I'm trying to tone it down a little bit.
Y'all do understand that gender role shit is actually a real thing. Y'all do understand that.
I do get that.
Like, that's an actual thing, right? Like, somebody has to play one role and somebody has to play another role. That's not just some shit we say because we want to be the band and be the big dick in the house. And
I don't think that it has to be all the time. Like, I don't feel like you should always
play
the same role.
I would agree
No, but it has to exist on both ends. Like, whether I'm the man today and you're the woman, and vice versa. Sometimes you take control and I be the bitch. Like, you understand that? No, I'm just serious. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna be the bitch. Fuck you. but you understand that they both have to exist.
Agreed. I do.
So, like, like you said, you can't always play the nigga.
Right.
And
I know that.
And you're growing and you're learning that.
I know that. And
I'm
not
she's
always.
She's
learning that.
You know what I mean? But it's hard to change.
I'm gonna start going around with a campaign talking about y'all women acting like niggas nowadays. That's what I'm start going
But that's
around.
the crazy thing, though. Is like she's saying, though,
bitches acting like niggas.
You get socialized, and women are also socialized to expect men to do
act
that.
like bitches.
So then, so when they come in contact, they're like, this isn't how a man's supposed to act. Yeah. So it ends up being a turn off for them. So we socialize ourselves to the death of us. It's fucking crazy.
The word normal is not even a real word.
Right.
It shouldn't be. Normal isn't, and I associate normal a lot with things too. And like norms are like not really norms. It's voids that need to be filled. That's how I look at normals. When it comes to relationships, if that makes any sense.
I think there is, because I agree, normal is weird.
Normal is very fucking weird.
The thing is, the real fault is that sometimes we normalize shit that shouldn't be normalized. I think that's the real problem. There's some shit that's just, look, this is the average, right? This is what the majority of people do. And the problem is when you start turning some weird shit into the norm. And right, because that was the thing, is that, like you said, growing up, when you were a little boy, if somebody picked on you or hit you, like she said, man up, that was the phrase you got told. But if you were a little girl and somebody was picking on you, well, come talk to me. What happened? How did that make you feel? Well, how do you, you have this whole conversation and you develop an emotional balance to dealing with those things. But little boys, you're told, man up.
Yeah,
don't cry. Yeah, don't be no punk.
Well said.
So you learn to just, okay, I guess man up means be emotionally callous and bottle shit up and don't talk about how that shit made me feel.
Yeah.
And then and then they wonder why they grow up and have fucked up men.
I'm doing a 20-year stretch because
right.
What was said?
Jerry Barnes says y'all make it hard to know where your head and feelings are.
So Jerry, when you sit here and say we make it hard to know where our heads and feelings are, what conversation do you have to fix that or to obtain a commonality or a goal onto, to where it's not an issue anymore?
Hold on. She also made another comment. Then out of nowhere, you just open up your emotional floodgates and expect us to know exactly how to react.
Sounds familiar. Y'all do that shit constantly.
Andrea Simmons says y'all are unstable creatures.
Wow.
She says,
she did not
hold on,
say that.
hold on. She says she's not going to call you the B word. She's just going to say unstable
Why
creatures.
would she even think about calling us the B word? Why is she describing us the way we describe y'all?
Because she thinks that when men act like women, it's a bitch thing.
That's crazy. No, I'm very emotional, but I'm not emotional. Does that make sense? Like I react to everything. No, I react to shit, but I don't hold on to emotion. I react to it, let it go. I'm not like women. They'll react. They don't. The thing I think with women that makes it bad is women don't react to everything. They take everything in and bottle it in and
compartmentalize
that little situations until it just gets too much and they blow the fuck up. Like that's what I see a lot with women. Instead of addressing every issue as it comes and get it resolved and we can move on to life.
So to what she said, though, it does. To what she said, Jerry, I would say Jerry first. Okay. Andrea is just...
Yeah, we're not addressing you no more, Andrea. Thank you for participating.
I would say...
she just called us a bitch.
We don't express it for so long because, again, like I'm talking about the socialized aspect of us, we don't know how. We didn't develop that skill, so it takes a long time for us to feel like we can trust you to be that way with you, for one. Two, we're not good at communicating in that way because we didn't learn it. And most often in our relationships, we didn't get to that space where we can communicate like that.
I think it's more that. I don't think it's that we just don't know how to. I just think we go unheard. Like, I think a lot of men communicate issues because I've communicated issues with a lot of the times. But my issues never get resolved or even answered. They get attacked like, well, you do this, as opposed to let's not go back and forth and play ping pong and I tell you how I feel about something and you immediately...
I can agree with that. Women tend to get defensive.
And you immediately just tell me how you feel or what I do to you. You know, you're right. I do that. You're 100% right. I'll stop. Now, can we go back to what I want to discuss?
Yeah,
that's
or I'll say,
very big problem.
Why didn't you talk to me about that yesterday? Like, if this is something you've been feeling, why wasn't that addressed until now? I'm telling you how I feel. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's a.
This is my time to have the floor.
They all lives matter us, and they don't even realize it. Right.
This is my time for the floor. Like, This is my time to speak. This is not your time.
Right. They don't even realize all lives matter the shit out of us. Like, my feelings matter too. Okay, but why didn't you tell me that last week? Yeah, if that's when the shit bothered you, like you wait till I'm telling you my feelings matter to be like, I know your feelings matter, but my feelings matter more right now.
Now you want to talk about this shit? Like, fuck, this was 2 months ago. Like, now we want to bring this shit up? Like, they I can't say the word. Compartmentalize a bunch of shit. And then, like you said, when we want to talk about something, now it's all of a sudden the floor is yours.
And then they start pulling every one of those compartments over. Going, actually, hold on, and you did this, and hold on, I have another file back here.
So real quick, Jerry Barnes says, bet. So stop faulting women because you don't communicate well. On top of that, Andrea Simmons says, you sound like my husband, Carl Thomas emotional ass.
You're literally that's the point. That's what we're saying. You have a man who is a human. He has emotions. Why is that bad? Because I promise you, the minute that man turns them fucking emotions off and starts being real cold and callous on your ass, you're gonna hate that shit.
It's an issue. Hey, Mr. Carl Thomas, go home one day and knock the shit out of her.
So to Jerry, you're correct. It's difficult because it's not y'all's fault that we don't know how to communicate. But if we start trying, you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to have to work with us as we try to communicate, or you're going to have to tell him, I need you to go to counseling and work on this shit because I can't fix you. I want to be with you, but you got to work on yourself as well. And that goes back to the stigma that we're talking about is men don't know how to just say, okay, I need help. I have 15, 20 years of emotional shit that I never learned how to discuss. And now I'm in this relationship with you and I'm trying, but I may be doing it wrong.
Jerry, are you with somebody? Are you married? I know Andre is married to a pretty good R&B singer. Yeah. Say emotional.
So you need to put that one
Summer
on
Rain. Yeah. She's married to Mr. Summer Rain and shit. Jerry, are you in a relationship? Or are you just speaking from past relationships? Andrea's mean as fuck. God damn. I feel bad for her.
I'm getting the vibe that she's the masculine energy like you were.
Like,
hey, she was on your side a lot, so I was thinking y'all were friends.
We are friends. No, I do know Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, she was going hard for you.
God dang, she's tough.
She is tough.
Who's her husband?
See, the funny thing is, and that's actually a conversation that I've had sometimes, though, is that especially in the black dating world, sometimes women have to be tougher.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That is.
But it's very relevant.
It is. And so, and I remember trying to have that conversation, and I remember some white woman jumped on, and I was like, look, how many black women have you dated? I was like, then shut the fuck up. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you can't speak on the dynamics between black men and black women because sometimes they are going to be different.
Well, just even in the black society, it's not just a black man, black woman, which it kind of is, but in the black community, everyone has to be dominant. You can't be weak in a black society. And like when everyone talks about, black people are always loud, like we have to be loud. Because if we're not loud, we're never going to get heard. We're going to get ran over. We're not going to be taken seriously. We're going to be punks, and we're not going to be treated as human. We have to demand that.
We in general, and this goes back to what I was saying about misogyny and racism, because how black people, we can be racist towards ourselves as well.
Yeah,
is that's the thing, is that white society, it's taught us a lot of fucked up shit. And you got to learn to navigate that shit carefully because it's everywhere.
But it's also in another conversation. I'll let you go, Brandon, in a second. I think you're going to say something. But it's also that another conversation when it comes to slavery and the shit that white people have taught us. Slavery has also taught white people some really fucked up shit too, unconsciously. If that makes sense. For sure. Like it has a two-way effect. Not only did it fuck us up, it fucked up them and their future generation. Only fucked them up on the better end of the stick, but it fucked them up.
Privilege, so to speak. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, so they have that same feeling that they don't really realize, like, I'm not white privileged, like, because that's just their life. That's what they know.
And that's that term white fragility. Like, they instantly get their feelings hurt. Yeah. But it's like black folks, we've become tough because we have to deal with that shit all the time.
It's second nature. The white people are the biggest group, especially when it comes to white privilege. They're the antagonizers and the victims.
Yeah.
Like, you
hurt my fist. Why would you do that to my fist? My knuckles are all fucking bruised now. Why would you do that?
Yeah, like what the fuck? You that's the biggest way I can describe white privilege. White privilege is when you have the ability to be the antagonizer
and the victim simultaneously.
Yeah. That is white privilege hand in hand. We're going to say something, Brie?
Jerry says no. She's not in a relationship. She's just speaking on the topic.
Okay. Well, Jerry. Well, she was saying something.
Well, she just said no, so I don't know if that means no, she's not married, and no, she's not in a relationship.
No, I'm pretty sure she's
no. Well, if she's not in a relationship, she's definitely not married.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's had penis before in her life, so she's speaking on those times.
That's an assumption. She might be. We don't know.
Well, if you're a lesbian, then I know your relationship's fucked up.
No, but I guess she is speaking on how men don't open up to her, so I guess that is a fair assumption.
Yeah, I was saying because she's a lesbian. I don't know how lesbians be lesbians.
I have so many friends who are, and it's funny listening to them because they'll tell you the same thing. Like, women are fucking crazy. I'm like, no shit.
And we gotta fuck with you too. Like, where do you think we come from? But I mean, shit. That's it, man. Blackface verse blackface. I was gonna ask Sean, why do white people feel the need to use the N-word? Like, why do y'all want to use the N-word?
See, but I don't think, based on what he said, I don't think he's gonna be able to give.
No, he wouldn't. That's
the type of answers we want.
That's why I didn't answer it. I'm pretty sure he said it before, not with any ill intent. And I'm pretty sure he's not the guy that wants to go around his friends and be like, "What's up, my nigga?" I'm pretty sure he's not that type of person either. Right. So that's why I didn't ask it. But I want to ask a white person, like, why? Like, why don't y'all want to go around talking about, hey, Japs? Like, why don't y'all want to do that? Why you want to say nigga, not the other words? And blackface versus blackface. We totally disagree.
How is blackface versus blackface? What do you mean? Do we got time?
actual.
We have to save that one, or we got time?
I want to actually get some visuals for it, so it would make sense not to just us, but to everyone watching.
Gotcha.
Blackface is with the
minstrel show,
the minstrels, blackface minstrels, and Tropic Thunder blackface,
that'd be interesting because I remember as anti-blackface as I am, the Tropic Thunder situation was different, and I was like, nah. Like I'm.
As a matter of fact, Tropic Thunder blackface was making fun of blackface. Actually,
it was doing a satire piece on the concept of blackface.
Why hire him to play the black guy when you can actually hire a black guy?
Because I've actually made the argument. This was a long time ago, but that a lot of modern rap, hip hop, or whatever. I'm like, honestly, it's blackface on black musicians.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that.
Sean Pennington has a question.
What's up, Shiny Sean? Oh,
he said with a hard R.
Sean will get your ass whooped. No, okay, so my neighbor across the street, he's a white dude, and he was asking me, like, why can't I say the N-word, right? I was like, well, why would you want to? And I was like, well, what if I say it around you? I was like, listen, I know how you feel about black people. I understand. If you say it around me like once, then I will acknowledge it, but I won't get in your ass like I probably should, right? Because I just don't want. I don't want to deal with it, right? So I'll be a pussy in that situation. But I told them basically, don't put me in a situation.
This is the best way to say it. Why would you want to put me in that
don't
situation?
Don't put me in a situation to where I have to feel like I need to address it, because it's not going to end well for you. It's not. And I'm not trying to be tough or rude, but it's inappropriate. And
I'd ask him, like, look, I don't dislike your wife, but can I just walk in your house and just call her a cunt?
Fucking anything, right?
Hey, what's up, cunt?
Yeah, just because I like the C word. Like,
I don't mean it in a bad way. Just
no,
exactly.
And that's kind of told him, man. Just don't put me in a situation to where I have to pick a side, because it's not going to be your side. It's not ever going to be your side. No. Just don't say it. If you we're talking in conversation and you being like, just joking, what up, my nigga? It's like, ha ha ha. Okay, that's enough. Like, you're gonna get a pass, because I just don't want to deal with it. Not because I'm a bitch, because I just want to deal with it with my neighbor, so to speak.
Yeah, my neighbor's got one time.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation.
Yeah, we'll immediately have that conversation. That shouldn't ever happen again.
But like I told him, he's like, well, what if your friends over and we're drinking, I'm just getting too fly, and I say it. I was like, my friends over, like I'm not gonna address it, like they're gonna address it. And
in a way that you might not like.
I'm not going to defend you at this point, because like you just don't put me in this situation to where I have to feel like I have to pick and choose a side between my neighborhood and my blackness, because I will never not choose my blackness. Yeah. And I don't want to have to pick. I can have them both. I feel like I can be black and have cool white neighbors too, right? So guys out there, just don't say it. I mean, it's not that big of a word for you. Why do we say it? Because we do. We flipped a bad situation and turned it into a brotherly thing, to where you lose all the power in it, and it doesn't mean the same. But you can still get your ass whooped from it. You can still get these hands, goddammit. But yeah. So again, thanks everybody for watching. Jerry Barnes, regular.
She's got one last comment.
She has a lot more, but what is the one that she just typed?
The one Sean's typing too. Jerry says, white folks wanting to say the N-word is another white privilege issue.
It is.
They fundamentally do not understand being restricted from doing what they want to do.
No, and that's awesome.
Great point.
I wish I had
absolutely agree with that.
I wish I had that psyche.
Sean says he doesn't know anyone that would use that word other than for hate.
And that's good, Sean. So if you ever hear it, slap the fuck out of him for us. Whether it's a hard R or A, and believe it or not, guys, the A will get your ass kicked just as much as the hardest of R you can think of. It's just don't say neither one of them.
Yeah.
But Sean, again, thank you. Bear TV, beer. It's actually a cool little group. Just fucking, they post pictures of them drinking and having good happy hour shit. Support them. Make them guys go big and viral. Jerry, she's a regular. Thank you, Jerry. We try to have you on the show. Hopefully we'll get you on the show as a guest, because you always have supported us and been dope. We're 20 episodes in, once a week. After 3 years, we've only got 20 in. Don't worry about the math on that. Just know that.
That doesn't sound like once a week.
Shut up, nigga. Just that's where we're at right now, and we're bringing content to you. We have the game show. I finally got the game show for you guys set up for you. Y'all are gonna love it. Me and Brianna still have to, for like 2 weeks, we're supposed to hash out some kind of details with it. But that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be the most racist, entertaining game in the world. And I'll tell you about it after when we get off air. Andrea, you're a mean motherfucker, man. You seem cool as fuck though, but goddamn, let Carl Thomas make it. He loves you. He loves you. He really does. Let him fucking make it. And for everyone else that is tuned in and chimed in, Maria, man, like always, I love you, man. Thank you for tuning in too. Brianna, you're her favorite, she said. You're her favorite. You ever shaved a woman's vagina?
Fifth.
Like, just
1,
like
2, 3, 4, fifth.
Fifth. Like, just with razors, like she needed herself, so you shaved it with a razor or pliers, not pliers, but razor or like, whatever.
If you were to ask me if I painted a woman's toenails, I would also plead fifth. These are all very intimate things I won't discuss.
Well, I guess I won't discuss it. Thanks, Maria, for chiming in. But it was a cool experience, I guess. But yeah, she's I've known her for forever. Zelia chimed in.
Weird segue to her. Are you saying you shaved her?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I hope it's the same Maria, because she was saying that you had her confused. She's the one in San Antonio, not in Colleen. Sorry.
I'm talking about the Colleen.
Yeah, this is a different Maria.
You have another Maria?
Yeah.
I thought it was only one Maria.
No.
Oh, well,
so you don't know.
So I never shaved that Maria's vagina. I didn't see that picture. Shit, that's kind of weird. But it was a cool experience. I mean, I'm just saying, it was weird. It was weird as fuck. Like it's. I'm glad they made Nair because it's a whole lot easier. So sorry, Maria. I never shaved this Maria's vagina. I never have done it ever before in life. And if you're a guy, you should try it. It's just weird. Have you ever done it? Let's be honest. Just not who, but have you ever done it? Shaved a woman's vagina.
Would you let a woman shave your balls?
I would not let a woman. Would you?
Yeah.
You would. Mm-hmm. Like yeah. That's love. If a dude ever let you shave his testicles, man, just you have them. You love them. It's like Harpo. That's a Harpo moment. Like you trust a motherfucker enough to cut your throat, to shave your beard.
But most treat her right. Have the guard on there, so she should be all right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everything you've done to me.
Now, would I let her do it with a straight razor, like an old time barber? No.
Like Whoopi?
No, that ain't happening.
Harper,
shit, I ain't doing that with a fucking straight razor like that.
Who else chimed in? Bree. Well, everyone else chimed in. Latoya, that's my sister. Thank you for chiming in. Retaz, that is my cousin. Shit, might as well be a sister to myself. Thank you for chiming in. Do not let her watch your fucking kids. You'll be disappointed. If you do, have a teddy bear with that camera inside that hole. So you know who the fuck did it. Another good segment. Once again, Adrian.
Thanks for having me as always.
Hey, thank you for being on.
Knocked Obama over.
No, fuck you. My bad, Obama. That's what we have for the week. Adrian, what do you have to say to the people?
Thanks for everybody who commented, asked questions. It was entertaining, informative.
Fuck y'all for agreeing with everything he said.
Love y'all for agreeing with everything I said.
Hey, we should do a tally thing when we're on together. We should have like a
don't do that to yourself.
We should have a fucking tally board. Brandon, next time we have me and him on, we're gonna have a tally board.
It's gonna say Adrian.
It'll look like remember the Monstars in the first half of Space Jam. It'll just be going like that.
I don't remember that dumbass.
I say the first half.
I don't remember that dumbass movie. No, we should do that. That would be fun. I mean,
are you sure you're ready for that?
I don't have that.
I respect your self-esteem, bro. I don't want you to do that.
No, we don't. I don't have that. What is it? The male masculinity. What is that? The
fragile
ego?
masculinity.
I don't have that fragile
ego.
Male ego. What is it? What do y'all women call it? You don't have it? No, I don't have a fragile male ego.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a screen and I'm gonna put it back here behind me, and I'm gonna put the numbers up.
We can have them keep track and every comment. I mean,
we got some people laughing. They think it's funny.
No, it's funny as fuck. We can do it. I say some good shit. Goddammit. We can do it. I think it'll be fun. I mean, why not? We ain't got shit else to do for 3 hours while we're talking on this mic. Let's make this fucking entertaining for us and for them, right?
All right. If somebody wants to take tally on this, let me know.
Yeah, and y'all can keep up. And we'll talk about real controversial shit. We'll talk about, I don't know, why don't y'all like to be called females, or is it woman? Which one do y'all?
Female
like?
is the one you cannot call them.
Why? Like that's another. We're gonna write that down. That's gonna be another topic, and I'm gonna have to.
That's a good one. That's controversial. You really want to?
That's gonna be like an hour in itself, if not longer.
Yeah, because I had a real fun debate on homosexual transgenders once.
Hold on, I gotta register homosexual.
I know. I see the look of confusion.
Hold on, come on. Homosexual. Ain't that like you? Like whoever you were to begin with?
It's like a double negative, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to the mall. Like,
right. It's like a double negative. Yeah. So that means that that means that if you are a man who identifies as a woman, but you are
a woman now.
No, you're a man who identifies as a woman, but you are a lesbian because you're homosexual.
A man who identifies as a woman, so I'm a woman, but I like a woman.
Yeah.
But then you're straight.
No,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's fun. No, I remember this. It was a thing.
Homosexual. So why don't you just like men and just be a man? Why do you want to?
Yeah, it's a conversation because the whole thing stemmed from I told somebody that you could be a heterosexual man, but if you let your woman plug you in the ass, I said you're into homosexual sex, and they disagreed with me.
You know what? I had I'm not gonna call it out, but I had a friend that ventured into that whole realm. It's too much. Like I don't understand why. Like I will never try it because I don't want to find out that I like it. And like it's, I'm so serious because you read books about it and people talk about it, and that's like the best orgasm you can ever get. Brianna has
supposed to be.
Brianna has done it to other people.
Wait, what?
Dude,
what
I know you have. I can tell by your look.
Okay, look.
That you played in niggas' booty holes.
No,
she's about to say she's done it.
No,
you said okay. Look, that usually.
No, look.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
I commented on a podcast that he did, and they were talking about it. I've sold sex toys for about the past 12 years.
Sticking Sharpies up niggas' booty holes.
And I know some things, okay? Not saying that I've personally done them, but all of them.
Gotcha.
But I know of things,
your friends, you know? What happened with your friend?
Hey, I do parties, so people tell me things that they've tried and what they like and don't like, and, you know.
I heard, and just as you said you've heard, it was the greatest orgasm you'll ever experience.
Yes.
I don't want to find that out and be like, so... let's have sex. Okay.
You might find out that that's what you want every time.
I don't want.
That's what he's saying. He's scared
just
to find
try
that out.
it.
But I don't want to. I'm fine.
I have some pretty good orgasms now, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm fine where I'm at right now. I'm content. I'm content. It'll never get that boring. I mean, shit. I could jack off and be totally fine. Like it's.
Yeah, it's a weird thought to feel like. Because, I mean, like I said, my orgasms are fucking amazing. So to think I need something that's way better, like how, Sway? Like,
that's why you should try it.
If it's that, first of all, you're not going to convince two niggas in a room together that we need to get fucked on the ass, okay? I don't give a fuck if it's whatever you think is a good idea. It's not going to go that way. It's not going to happen. It's not even going to be a thought.
Good lube for that, too.
I understand you do. I get it. We're not going to find out. It's not going to happen.
I'm like, I'm good.
Not on my goddamn show. Not on my watch. It's not going to happen. Like growing up, I didn't want to be. I didn't because they taught you. And we'll end the show on this. I know we can talk for hours. We're supposed to. It's fucking 20 minutes of extra shit. We were supposed to. like when you grew up, they're like, this whole fight against homosexuality and bullying and shit. And they're saying, don't bully the person that's a homosexual, the kid, because they're born that way and it's not their choice and it's just what it is. And I was like, what if I grow up and I'm gay? Like, what if God made? I was so fucking afraid. Like, I don't want to be gay. Nothing against gays, but it's like
at the time, when you're a kid, you don't know. You just you don't want to be ostracized. That's really what you were. You didn't want to be a.
I didn't want to kiss boys and get fucked in my ass. That's what I didn't want to do. Fuck ostracized. I just didn't want that.
How old were you? Wait,
what?
Yeah, how old are you? I didn't know that was what gay meant at that age. Like,
you didn't know? Fuck.
I just knew it meant liking boys and being girly is what I thought when I was young.
No, I knew. I kind of had an idea. I used to watch the scrambled porn. And you had the 99 to be scrambled and shit.
And you was watching dudes fucking each other in the ass?
No, but I knew what fucking in the ass was at that time. I mean, I played football and like guys made fun of
I'm like,
people
how
and
old
shit.
are we talking? Because
middle school type shit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and like because when they talk sex ed and shit, like,
didn't you think he meant younger? I thought he meant younger.
No,
yeah, that's why I was like, wait, what?
No, middle school. Because that's when they teach sex ed and like what you do, and people are homeless. They don't pick on the guy. So I was like, no, I don't want to grow up to be that way. Nothing against people that are, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Well, yeah, you already. I think at that point you already know though. You already know. I see women and I like women.
I thought I liked pussy my whole life. What is going on, God? No.
I'm gonna that next week. I'm gonna get killed for that one because I have. I consider myself fairly progressive as far as that type of shit goes. But I was told I'm just not supposed to talk about that because I got told that I was transphobic because I only like women with vaginas, and I was like, right.
What?
I'm pro my opinion actually.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna find
pro
somebody.
Preference.
What I'll do is I'll ask on my page one of the people who is a part of the LGBTQ alphabet. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'll say the alphabet, but who wants to have that conversation? Because the whole thing is just like white people shouldn't be in a room discussing black folks. We shouldn't have this conversation if we don't involve them. But yeah, I was in a conversation with somebody and they told me, no, I'm gay and I like men whether or not they have a penis. You're transphobic because you only like women if they have a vagina. And I was like, I don't legitimately understand this. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. This shit sounds crazy.
I don't know what word you want to put into it, but as long as the definition means I like vagina, I'll be that word.
And as far as I was like, I'm fine with that. I was like, because I'm not gonna lie, you're right. I don't like women that don't have vaginas.
I'm trans. What does that mean? I like vagina? Does that mean like vaginas on women? Yes. That's what I am. I'm not gonna argue with you. Whatever
because
it is.
I'm not. Well, you know what? Because then we'd be having a conversation. Because I was gonna make a comment, so we'll save it. Yeah. Because
again, thank you for watching. This side right there. Subscribe, love us, like us. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. All that shit where he's pointing at. Please be a fan and a family of what we do because this is for you at the end of the day. Again, thank you for tuning in. Brianna, do you have anything to leave us with? No.
Try to explore your anal cavity.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I'll leave you at that.
You're not leaving me with the motherfucking thing. First and foremost, I have nothing, guys. From the show, man, open conversation, of course, is key. A message to my black Americans, black individuals, black people, men, women, and children. Like I always say, I'm going to give y'all a word. Be responsible. Be accountable for your actions, and just understand that every situation is not a situation that we need to address and be in at that moment. Pick your fights wisely. And just pick your fights wisely, man. And racism is a thing. Make sure when you handle racism that you're handling it as what it is, and don't make shit more than what it is. Black lives do matter, and let's not fuck that up. Unlike Adrian says, we can't. If it's gonna be fucked up, it's already fucked up. But let's not help the situation if at all possible, if that could be possible. That's it. Listen to your man. Listen to us. Let us cry. Let us be a bitch sometimes. Just fucking listen to us. Don't tell us we're being a bitch. Address our bitchness and fucking tell us you love us. And buy Carl Thomas's new album, or his latest album. It's fucking great. It's a great fucking album.
Support Andre's husband.
Yeah, that fucking Summer Rain out. That's just a fucking great dope album. Why you bullshitting? So support that shit. Buy it and listen to it. Download it. We love y'all. Thank you for watching. We are out. Then she said, call that nigga Carl Thomas.